All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Market Prep. I hope you are having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you guys had an incredible day yesterday. Good morning, Peter. Happy Wednesday. How are you feeling today, my friend?
Happy Wednesday. And a strange Wednesday it is because it feels like a Friday. We got a weird holiday. Well, not weird. It's just like it's unusual to have a midweek holiday. So we got Juneteenth coming up tomorrow, everybody. The markets are going to be closed. So that means that it's sort of like a Friday. And then we come back and have one day of trading. Plus, it's even more Friday-esque because we have, we'll talk about this in a second here, but we got some economic data that's coming out towards the end of the day, which could keep the markets fairly quiet here. So we'll see what happens. I hope we get some good trading, but I'm thinking it might be slow. We'll see.
Yeah, it's so much happening, especially with everything with geopolitical events, Iran, Israel, U.S. getting involved. I mean, there's just a lot happening. Like you said, the Fed meeting today. So much going on. Then you got this holiday in the way. It's a weird week. It's a weird type of situation. I don't think we've ever seen this mixture of things happening all together. Quick look at our gappers list, friends, brought to you by tradingterminal.com, which, by the way, has some really cool stuff happening on the back end. Me and Peter were sitting in a meeting yesterday and just seeing some of the cool stuff that we're expecting on this thing. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Right now, head over to tradingterminal.com. You can get the scanners list and a bunch of other tools. We got things on both sides today. Not a lot. Yesterday, Peter, if you remember, we had a ton on each side here. Today, a little more balanced, less tickers in play this morning. And none of our usual suspects making the list so far. So I assume they're like the SPY right now, pretty flat. Just kind of hanging in here, seeing what's next. I'm hoping that doesn't mean a flat opening for today. So we'll have to see. Given the obvious, Peter, what else is on the calendar for today?
Well, a couple things that we just had announced. So let's start there. We had the the housing starts, so new homes being built and building permits. Both were down. You can see we've got housing starts on the list. Expected was the 1.35. It only came out at 1.25. So looks like less people are buying houses, less permits were issued. Jobless claims actually surprising. Initial jobless claims pretty much right on target, 245,000 versus the 246, and continuing jobless claims barely higher, 1.945 million. So all of that means, not a large economic impact or change anticipated. The big data from an economic point of view is coming out this afternoon. So we've got our next Fed rate decision. We were talking about this yesterday. That means that we can expect, the markets to react. They always do. We just don't know which direction. The anticipated outcome is no change, right? Meaning that interest rates currently are 4.25% to 4.5%. That's the Fed target rate. They're not expected to change. 99.9% of the analysts all agree. There's like one dude out there that says, no, I think we're going to get a quarter point drop, but everybody else in the world seems to think there's no change, which means that, again, if there is no change, the market reaction, there is going to be a reaction, but it's going to be very muted and not much will occur. If there's anything other than no change, the markets are going to lose their mind, and we're going to move heavy because everything is loaded towards no change. Now, again, there's no change for a reason, right? The Fed has been very clear in their messaging. They've said they're not going to change course at this point. So it's reasonable. It's absolutely reasonable. And, that nothing's going to happen. But you never know. So keep that in mind. This afternoon, 2:00 is when the rates come out. Again, the computers read it and we get that immediate reaction. Then you get Powell that does the press conference, usually starting shortly after 2:30. He does normally like a I don't know, a relatively short speech. It's only a couple of minutes, and then we get into the Q&A. That's when sometimes we can get interesting market reaction, depending on his commentary. And there's certainly a lot to comment on. It just depends on whether he takes the bait from the reporters and what he chooses to say. He's been very good. He's clearly been coached over the last couple of years, and is much better now than he used to be. Powell used to sort of take the bait and go off on tangents. He sticks to the message right now, so I expect it to be fairly calm. Now, all that being said, like Carlos was suggesting a minute ago, there's a lot of geopolitical forces at play here, right? We obviously have all the tariffs and activity that's happening through the U.S. and those conversations. We've got a G7 summit that's happening right now, and of course, we've got the continuing tensions between, in Iran and that area. Strange, or at least I don't know, and a statement that everybody's got scratching their heads, where Iran has said a statement saying there will be an event tonight that people will remember for centuries. Sounds ominous. Don't know what that means. But again, from our point of view, it means the markets, with that type of statement out there, people aren't putting a lot of money anywhere. We may see a little bit of a retracement, but I think that people are going to stay the course, waiting to see what happens. I honestly think that's what's going to be happening all day today, which means we could see a fairly quiet market. So, all that being said, we need to know what's happening out there, just so that we can, sort of structure our trading and our minds against it. Be cautious, because we could see some good moves. I think they're going to be more muted than otherwise. So just sort of be ready for that in your trade strategies. All right. All that being said, Carlos, we do have a couple things on the gap up and gap down, although they're fairly, even that is pretty light, right? They're sort of only a few things, and it's not like the big type moves we were even seeing yesterday or late last week.
Yeah, agree. And some of these names, again, seem to be lower flow stocks. We'll take a look. We'll see what we can pull off here. All right, friends, let's start with the first one here off the gap up list from Trading Terminal. We'll look at APVO this morning, and that is the first one on deck. If I can get my screen working. Yeah, it is. All right, APVO this morning. Aptevo Therapeutics up here 144%. Be careful. You do have shares for sure on this one. I wonder how much. Let's take a look. Usually not 15,000. That could be gone before you even blink. So only 15,000 shares here. So again, really not a whole lot. Issuer failed to meet NASDAQ continued listing requirements. So there's some issues there with that. That's what that says. How accurate is this, by the way, Peter? Is that the news today? And if so, why are they gapping up?
Well, yeah. I mean, that could be accurate. Let's see. I don't see that in the news, but they do have some actual business news. They are working on a vaccine, I guess a care treatment for individuals who have acute myeloid leukemia. I guess that would be a vaccine. It's a treatment. Anyways, and their drug Miplytamig. How awkward is that to say? Miplytamig. Anyways, it demonstrated an 85% remission rate for those with AML. So this leukemia. So anyways, so the good news for them, good news for those that have leukemia and that are on the trial, of course. Still a lot of work to do, but that's why APVO is up this morning.
Yeah, all right, there you see it. How well this is going to trade, I'm not sure. It is a low flow stock under $1 million, so just be careful. It is high flying now, a little bit of shares for sure on SSR. It just has all the red flags for me for the way I trade. So if you like it, great, put it on your list if it fits your criteria. It doesn't meet my my stock selection, right? So we'll skip that. Speaking of stock selection, guys, we got a great video in our education center. Great videos, actually. It's about 30 of them. All strategies, because we usually get asked, how do you decide which stock is good, which stock is bad? And in all our strategy, we have this stock selection information that can help you really identify, what stocks play best for your type of strategy, for the different strategies we have there. And we have like 30. So in my 5-minute RB is also included there. VWAP breakouts in place as well. So take a look at that. It's available in our education center right on the first page when it comes to strategies. And next on the list is going to be LSE. Today we're up 73% right now. Hard to borrow, SSR, also another low flow stock at 1.5 million is what I'm showing here. And again, these stocks they're could be a hit or miss. What was the low flow yesterday that took off actually? Was it zero?
Yesterday?
Zero? Yeah, there was one
Oh,
yesterday.
CERO. Yeah,
CRO.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is risky, but this one actually played out really nice. Got halted a couple of times. So sometimes you do start with, this action that seems to be very common, right? Peter, we've seen this all the time. The big pop up, then the sell down, and then usually this just kind of fall off. Once in a while, you get ones where they take off. Market opens here instead of a big drop. You get this continuation, just keeps squeezing higher. It literally goes from like $10 to 27, right? A couple of halts on the way up. So sometimes you have that, right? Then you have the slam down today. We're down 28%. So sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It's just the risk involved here, and also the way they trade are not great. So when I look at LSE, I'm thinking of the same thing here. Can happen, can break out as high as 12 today, back to 9, as low as 6. I mean, the range is there if you like this type of stickers. Peter, any news? Energy ticker, I believe.
Yeah, we got a bunch of energy tickers on here. They seem to still be in play. We had energy earlier this week, and noticed that we had a number of those. I'm not sure. These feel like they're just sort of bouncing around. There's a couple that have been on and off the list. I noticed this morning. It's yeah, some that were here are now are now off my list. But yeah, I've got no specific news, Carlos, so I'm not sure. I think it's just like I said, just continued movement in this sector, as the expectation is that, especially in the U.S., right, energy demands are going to grow, and we're looking at alternate energy sources. And nuclear was a big conversation. Of course, the presidency has been always in favor of coal and some of the more traditional energy sources. So yeah, it feels like this sector is in play. Remember yesterday we were talking about not the Senate that was sort of keeping all the cuts to our more modern, anyways. So the solar and wind power, which were all dropping yesterday. So again, energy is just on the move.
Yeah, sure. It's a lot going on there with energies and policy and all that good stuff. Let's go back here. ST, again, it won't be on my list. It's not typically something I look at, but it is somewhat in play today. STSS, we've seen this ticker before make a lot of noise. I don't think I ever kept them on the list, right? And they do have this weird pre-market activity at times. You'll see these spikes with very low volume in the individual candles. It does have 1.2 million shares traded today so far, but again, that volume got to be some transacted trades because I don't see it down here. And look at this weird action. Look at these wicks, and there's just no movement right now. That could change at the market open, but given their daily and what I've seen in the past from these guys, I typically don't keep them on deck. So same thing today. Sharps Technology is the name, Peter. Anything moving them this morning?
All right. So, whoops, my mic is on. Okay, sorry.
Is on here. Yep.
Yeah, this is a medical equipment company. Look, this is a low float, right? I only show like 1 million shares in this company's float. It's got a market cap of $5 million. So I tell you this because the news was that they had a $50 million supply agreement, and normally that's the size that we wouldn't pay attention to unless you're only a $5 million company. So anyways, they signed a supply agreement, which is good for them. I'm not sure whether to pay attention to this. I mean, I look at the daily and I'm like, I don't think this is a good mover, and on especially a day like today, like unless it's moving with a ton of volume, I'm not going to be jumping into this. And this is not moving. I mean, it's got over 1 million shares, but when I look at the profile, I'm thinking it looks like it all happened early this morning, and in the last hour or so, 40 minutes, like there's been less than, I don't know, 20,000, 30,000 shares traded. Like it feels like whatever action happened, it's happened and it's done.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, it doesn't seem great. So we'll leave it alone. Again, and we looked at this ticker in the past, for the most part, not a whole lot that we like out of it. SRRK, this seems new. It looks like something out of Star Trek or something. All these R's and K's and whatever. I don't know. 5.3, 233,000. Scholar Rock Holding. That's a great name, but I'm not sure how great they trade. So Pre-market looks messy. Daily also doesn't look great. Won't be on my list, guys. Not a low flow. 72 million shares traded, so not a low flow ticker, but it just looks messy. Looks like the move might just be done for today. Pop up to 38, back down to 32, and it just might hang here if it doesn't get any volume, which at this point doesn't look like it is, Peter.
No, there's been so many of these biotechs this week. I don't know what's going on in the sector, but we just had biotechs, Monday, Tuesday, and now Wednesday. This is another one, oddly named Scholar Rock. I'm still trying to figure out what their thing is. But anyways, I see. Their products are for patients with spinal muscular atrophy. So that explains, because they're talking about how patients have preserved lean biomass. So I guess this is all about trying to help them retain weight. Whereas most of we see so many drugs that are all about losing weight. This is about keep it, especially when you have spinal issues. Anyways, phase 2 trials went well. That's why it's popping. Not something I'm going to look at.
Yeah, not looking great here. So far, friends, nothing on our primary list at the bottom there, from me at least. Again, everything we have gone through so far not looking great. MRVL, it's one that's a little more known. We see it quite a bit on our list. We'll look at that. And let's see what SMR and Circle, it's not Circle, but CRCL are doing today. But let's take a look at these, and we'll see if we can come up with something. But so far, nothing on the list just yet. MRVL doing some movement here this morning, up 4.4. I'm sorry, up 4.4 actually. Yes, that's correct. 650,000 shares traded almost daily. Has been actually moving decent as far as where it's going here. So not sure what's driving them today. Typically, I never really watched this stock, Peter. Maybe today could be a day where we keep this on deck. What's your thoughts on it, and what's moving it today?
For years, this thing has popped up on our list occasionally, and for years I've watched it and haven't found trading opportunity and generally been disappointed. So I don't like, you just look at that daily, right? Big gaps and then tiny little price action. So Carlos, I mean, I don't see anything today particularly that's going to change my mind. They do have some business news both yesterday and today. They're talking about some of their solutions. They've got some new technology on their data RAM, SRAM chips, some AI integration. They're using all the right buzzwords, but I still don't think it's going to be tradable. That being said, I was looking at the daily here. I've got to go backwards. Are we at all-time highs? No, not even close.
No.
Yeah. I thought maybe if we were, that would make it more interesting. But yeah, I mean, just a year ago, we were up at $125. So we're like half of that. Yeah, it's not interesting to me.
Yeah. The one thing that looks interesting on the daily possibly is that we had this big gap down back in February into March. We're kind of almost right at that point. Maybe that could be interesting off the daily. I can't. Again, I'm pulling teeth here, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, just look at the price action yesterday. Like, clearly, some of this news about their press release came out. So they were launching a new chip. It came out yesterday, but it shows how, like, you could watch this forever and then have nothing happen. And then what time was it yesterday? Around 1:00, where this thing just went crazy. So, and just moved, made the largest move of the day by far. And look at that. And that would,
Nice.
it looks great, right? If you could take advantage of that. But what would make you think that that's the move, unless you know about the press release? Like, it would have been extremely hard to jump in on that, in my opinion, to have to just sit and watch it forever. So, hey, maybe today's its day. It's not like we got a lot else going on at the moment, but I don't know. I still don't think so. I'm not convinced. I've been disappointed too many times.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that's going to trade out. But again, today, maybe a secondary list, because just how quiet we are here, maybe we could do a secondary on MRVL. Let's see if this gap means anything here. Great move yesterday. Let's see if that can continue. But again, for the most part, from history, doesn't trade very well. Pre-market doesn't look too bad. Getting better here, so we're getting more volume, right? More volume coming in, getting a little bit smoother on the candles. Let's see if that can continue. All right. What else we have? We have three more I want to get to. SMR. We'll look at this one next. This one has been in play daily, has been moving pretty nice. Doesn't get a whole lot of volume intraday, and they normally trade like this, so we've usually been avoiding them. But look at the last couple of days into May and also into June here. We're getting a lot more volume, so we're getting a lot more movement. Daily candles look a lot better. I still have not liked what I've seen in the intraday on this one. Yesterday I didn't look at it yesterday. Let's take a look yesterday. Oh, yesterday, nice drop off. Nice clean drop off yesterday there. So not sure, Peter. It's one that we haven't really looked at. We don't know how well or not it trades, but daily obviously been very active here in the last 2 months. It looks like.
Yeah, I find it interesting. I mean, look, I don't know much about the company or tech or nuclear power for that matter, but you know how we've been talking about Oklo, right? And I'm trying to get the I'm trying to get the picture here of Oklo Technology. So I just find it interesting how these different companies are promoting themselves. Like we've talked about Oklo. Let me share a screen here because I want to show you guys this. I find this fascinating. So Oklo's here busy advertising themselves, and you know how they keep Carlos. You call it a church. I call it like a cabin. Like they're sort of like they give a picture of a building, right? And they're trying to make it look like, look, we could put a nuclear power plant in your neighborhood, and it would all be pretty. Look at this place. Doesn't that look innocuous? Doesn't it look like a nice, look at this type of building, right? You can have that right in your neighborhood, and it's all pretty and it's good. Interestingly, SMR, which is New Scale Power, it's like they've gone a different direction. Look at you go to their core page, and here's what they've got, right? Here's our design, and here's what our plant could look like. Doesn't that seem more threatening? I don't know why, but for me, doesn't this look more sort of technical bomb-like? I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
you
sure
want to
that's
cover
not what they're
that.
trying to
Yeah,
do.
you want to cover that in the church. You want to have that outside. Doesn't
Yeah,
look.
like
Yeah,
you're
you
like, oh,
cover
let
that
me
in the
put one of
church.
those in the backyard. You're like, or next door. Like it just feels like whatever. I don't even know how big how big do you think this thing is? Is it 5 feet tall or is it 50 feet tall? I really have no idea. But it's just interesting to me how they've said, look, we've got this, a new design, and it's all lovely, but instead of like what Oklo's done with this, little picture. I just find it interesting how they've gone radically different directions in trying to advertise it. So that being said, both of these are in play, and they have been for a little while because, of course, again, like we said, power and energy has been in play, especially nuclear, which is seen as potentially a new emerging approach that the U.S. hasn't used for a while, right? In Europe, there's been a lot more use of nuclear recently. In North America, there's been a lot of reticence, right? Public opinion has not been with nuclear. Admittedly, many of you who are younger may not remember 3 Mile Island. Carlos, I'm sure you do. It's in our neck of the woods, anyways. So we remember those, way back. I mean, that was like the '80s, I think, when they had their issues. You're on mute. Can't hear you.
Yeah, so I was barely born when that took place, but yes, yep.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But it's one of those things that like I used to, as a kid, to this day I make 3 Mile Island jokes whenever I see like giant fruit and giant vegetables. I'm like, oh, it's grown on 3 Mile Island. Anyways, I just find
Yeah.
anyways, so look, but nuclear's been in play. Oklo's been actually a decent trade over a number of days. SMR I haven't paid as much attention to, but interesting that it's the one that's on our gappers list today. It had a good move. I mean, not long, but a good move down yesterday. Pulled
Which one,
back
Peter?
after a number of days of growing. So if there's a sector that feels like it could be in play even on a day like today, I think these two stocks might be worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah, what was the other one, Peter? You mentioned? I missed the ticker name.
OKLO?
Oh yes, OKLO. Yep. Correct.
And SMR.
Yeah. Very explosive. I definitely like Oklo a little bit better.
Wait, you did? Was that a pun you didn't mean to make?
What did I do?
Very explosive. You said they're very explosive.
Oh, snap! I did not think about that. No, but they could be literally. I did not.
Careful.
No.
Let's hope not.
Careful. Yep. You can see the viewership dropping right now on YouTube. YouTube is blocking us. I can see that. Friends over on YouTube, if you haven't done so already, hit that thumbs up. We're sitting at, I'm sure, 74. Hopefully it's higher, but our goal is 400. Once you get 400, we stop asking. I'll hit it myself here, 91 as well. And thank you guys. All right, let's continue. So again, this list not looking so hot, but it's been a week like that, and we have found opportunities. We just got to be patient. Just takes a little bit longer to get to some things. There are stuff in play that just become less as far as how many stuff are in play and trade well, right? Let's look at apps. I mean, I know some people did mention this. Is this app loving? Oh no, this is digital turn buying. We saw this yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, it's
Digital
been on
turn
the list
buying.
last.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. So
I
big
think it
day
was yesterday,
yesterday.
or maybe some point earlier this week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, they're continuing to release information. Again, APPS, a company called Digital Turbine. Yesterday, it was earnings, I think, yesterday that we were talking about. Today, they've announced a partnership to with Alcatel to do mobile services in India. So I don't exactly know their business well enough to understand how that works, but anyways, Digital Turbine apparently has a suite of mobile technologies that are fitting well into Alcatel's services. So, anyways, just getting them up a little pop up today.
There you go. Big day yesterday. Nice daily candle here. Pre-market looks like it wants to continue. It's up another 2.5 after it dipped down. So, you know, it could be interesting. And this is typically not a stock that I watch, but I do like this. The way they're sitting in the pre-market right now. Lower price stock under $10. Again, a lot of things I don't like here or love, but let's secondary. I want to see what this goes today. After such a big move yesterday, and we do have shifts for short, just in case you're feeling like shorting this thing. We do have 3.2 million, which is nice. So you know, if there's a short opportunity with volume, that can also be something we look into. So you know what? On the secondary, we might even move it up onto the main list if it continues like this. So scatter as far as volume. Peter's like, easy now, right?
Yeah.
Easy.
Whoa,
Let's not get carried away.
Oh, you never know. Maybe,
Yeah.
like you said, it's slow otherwise.
Yeah. Last but not least, off this gap up list, friends, is CRCL. So CRCL, which is it is Circle. Okay, there it is. Circle Internet Group. So at the moment they're up here at 3.1. Recent IPO, if you guys remember, it literally got less than 2 weeks open here, or about 2 weeks, and then it's been active. So not the easiest stock to trade. Spread could be a little bit messy. So we saw about 40 cents at times, 80 cents, which is not horrible, but it's not great. You know, it's not great to have a $150 stock or even at 120 have that type of spread. So you just got to be very careful, and it can move a lot. Like the range today, $7 in the pre-market already. So gotta be very careful with this. Peter, your thoughts on this one? Will you be watching it?
No, it has been on the list, and I know a few people have been looking at it. It's not one at this point that I've spent a lot of time with or that interests me.
I'll leave that one alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got to go back here to Piano Tech. Piano Tech is punching me up here. Look, we've had this debate before, and I've said I understand that there's the nuclear and nuclear, and I seem to use the two interchangeably. It depends on my mood, so I don't know what to tell you. I'm not sure. In my head, they're used in different contexts sometimes, and I just mix them up. So I don't, you tomato, man. You do you. Let me do me, man. It's nuclear. I don't know. How do you say it, Carlos? Nuclear? Nuclear? I don't know.
It's a nuke.
It's a nuclear, I suppose.
It's a
properly
nuke.
said.
It's called
It's
a
a
nuke.
nuke. Yeah, it's a nuke.
I don't know.
Nuclear. I'm not sure where I got the nuclear from, but it's
nuclear.
It's just.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Nuclear.
Anyways,
yeah.
It's
there's some English teachers right now in chat, probably scratching their heads, going nuts at the moment.
Say it the way it's spelled. Ebenezer, look, man, my son lives in Edinburgh. Like, come on. Or, well, just outside of Edinburgh. You can't say anything the way it's spelled. It depends where you are in the world. I mean, look at how that's spelled.
Yeah, some words you could, but you can't go by that. I mean, look at two, two, and two. I mean, uh,
Yeah,
it's
say it
just
right. Jordan's making fun of me. Jordan's like Scottish making fun. So you want me to say it right? Sure. It's Edinburgh. That's how it's spelt. Okay, it's Edinburgh. So now we can have a fight. All
yeah,
right.
yeah. General Lee says English is awful. No, it's not that bad. It's just every language has its little things that just sometimes don't make a lot of sense, right?
we
And it is what it is.
we have to
They all do.
remember English at its core is a bastardized language, anyways, right? We've literally just taken most of our words from other languages and just you know mixed them all up into what we now call English. So we're
Yeah,
all over the
yeah.
place. It's why we have all these words that are like the same word pronounced the same way but spelt three or four different ways. Like we don't know what we're saying half the time. Anyways,
Yeah, yeah.
Edinburgh. Yeah,
It's
if you're a local, Edinburgh. Yeah,
yeah,
that's the local. Anyways,
yeah.
all right.
All right, friends, let's jump into. I think that's everything on the gap up. Everything on the gap up, and we came barely with a decent list here. I learned more about the English language just now than this gappers list when regards comes to stock. So, nothing to see there. Let's take a look at what's gapping down. A few things leading the way here. I see R, B, and E. So we'll take a look at this one, R, B, and E. Man, before I do that, Peter, actually, anything you like on the gap up list that we haven't covered? Let's go there first.
Well, look, a lot of stuff that was gapping down yesterday is gapping up. Uh, Tesla, the semiconductors, and AMD and Nvidia, they were all sort of moving down. Tesla, especially, had a very interesting sort of price action yesterday, sort of bouncy. Sort of made me think of like a one of those water slides, sort of went down. And anyways, it was moving down yesterday. So pretty much all of the Magnificent Seven stocks, all that stuff that was dropping a little bit yesterday, seems to be gapping up just marginally. The only exception is Microsoft, but I don't favor any one of them. I think, like I said, going to be pretty quiet. So I'm going to be probably pretty slow out of the gate today.
Yeah, it's shaping out that way for sure. So we'll see how things develop here. RB and E on deck just jumped up to the gap down list, and it just happened just a couple of minutes ago. We're talking here. I just saw a shot up here, and we are down 32% right now. Hard to borrow. 1.7 million shares trade. Look at the data in this thing. It's just been messy all over the place. So again, just be careful. Float on this one is 1 million shares float. This is Robin Energy. So I'm not sure what kind of news broke out for them, but they have a pretty decent gap down here. They're in the green, and now it's just slamming down this morning. Let's see if that's going to stick or so. Peter, what's the deal with this ticker?
Whoa. Sorry, I was doing some research here. I have to just refute. Pianotech is calling me dumb. Anyways, here's some pronunciation notes on the word nuclear or nuclear
Yeah, yeah.
from online dictionaries. Anyways, all right. Uh, just,
Who is this? I gotta
these are the
put it on
rabbit holes
on
I
my
go down. All right.
yeah.
Anyways,
What's the name?
Robin
What's the
Energy.
name?
Yeah, like Carlos.
Who was this
Have
guy?
you
Who
seen
who
this?
was this? Who was this guy? What's the
No,
name?
he didn't. I'm paraphrasing. He was just.
Oh,
He's
okay.
just. We're just having fun. That's all.
Okay. I
Um,
got you guys.
this Rob. Remember Robin Energy was it yesterday or 2 days ago that we had it on our list? I have to go back and look here, but I know that we had seen it earlier this week, and they seem to be like really trying to like make some extra cash here. Because yesterday they announced a secondary offering. Today they're announcing another one. So, and I think it's different because it seems to be different amounts at different prices. Yesterday they announced 5.1 million share raise for 965,000 shares at 5.25. Today they're announcing another 860,000 shares, same price, but it looks like it's a completely separate offering. So, anyways, they're like, our stock price seems to be doing okay recently, or at least it's got some attention. Let's try and make some money. Let's fill the
Yeah,
coffers. So.
I see that. So this explain all the madness up and down here that we're getting off the daily. Again, I don't think it's really tradable. It looks extremely messy, tons of volume, hard to borrow. Just be careful. Won't be on my list. Looks way out of control for the stuff I like to trade. Take a look here at the next one. CERO. We talked about this earlier. This is now on the way down. It is down 28% today. So again, the second day play usually are not great on these low flow tickers, especially when they're gapping down 28%. Can't short it, hard to borrow with interactive brokers. So we'll move on to something else for sure. So nothing to see there. Taking a look at EYI. Go ahead, Peter.
Oh, I was going to say, and this one halted a number of times yesterday, both on the way up and the way down,
Yeah.
especially in the morning. And then, like you said, right, second day play now, like the afternoon sort of calmed, and everybody said, all right, I think the fun's over because it sort of settled around $20. And yeah, I don't, like you said, probably worth not paying attention to. We were talking about it yesterday. I mean, it had a pretty impressive move, but these are the super high risk things, right? So if you trade them,
Yeah.
all power to you, but it's not what we focus on generally here at Bearable Traders.
Yeah, because it's all about consistency. And can you get these moves on a regular basis? Very difficult to get it on a regular basis with these low flow stocks. So we tend to just not trade them. And there's nothing wrong with trading them. Like there's some people that are really good at trading these low flow stocks. They have a strategy. They have an eye for being able to wait and see what's good and what's not. Other traders don't. So not that it's bad if you're a low flow trader, nothing against you. It's just different style of trading that requires a different type of a strategy. Let's take a look at the next one here is IN, I meaning EYEN. And again, just another one that looks messy, Peter. It's just nothing great here. We are down 20% this morning, a little bit of volume, hard to borrow. Had a big day yesterday. Looks like today the fun might be over again. Very similar to the one we just looked at. This won't be on my list.
Inovia? What? This is I'm trying to anyways, the name sounds a little too kitschy for me. I'm just trying to figure out exactly what they do. They've got this Optojet technology where it's like I don't know what it is. It's like a digital eye drop dispenser where an eye scanner. It's like you can diagnose your eye problems right in your house. That's weird. Okay. Anyways, whatever they do, yeah, it doesn't feel tradable.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. So more on deck this morning. HUSA. Man, it is a messy gappers list. Yeah, we've seen this one before. I don't keep it on the list. It doesn't trade all that well. Sitting on the American Stock Exchange on top of that, so it tends to be a little bit harder to trade as far as the price action. Today they're down 16% after being up yesterday. Hard to borrow. It's just again way too many flags I don't like on this thing.
So weird. They do have announcement of a secondary. It's weird that it's relatively small. They're only issuing 223,000 shares at a price of $10.60. It's very odd that it's such a small offering and so significantly below the current price. Now, admittedly, I mean their float's only 1.2 million, so another 200,000 shares is an extra 15% on their float. But it feels very modest. I think they could have gone for more. Anyways, still not trading.
Yeah. SRM. SRM is next. XRM, we have it on here. We saw this a few days ago in the big gap up, and then since then, just kind of been tapering off here. SRM Entertainment, hard to borrow. SSR. Again, we can't short these with interactive brokers. There's no inventory, so I typically don't like to look at stocks that I cannot trade both ways, and in this case, this is one of them. Plus, again, just not looking all that hot. Also, low flow stocks sitting 9.5 million shares flow. So again, won't be on my list. I think, again, many stocks, just the fun seems to be somewhat over, Peter. So they're just sliding down this morning.
Yeah, I agree with you. Fun's over. I don't see anything interesting on SRM today.
Yep. BDTR, this is mining, right? BitDeer Technologies. So I do see we're dropping 7.8 right now, 250,000 shares traded. Again, really light volume, just barely getting above our filter here when it comes to these tickers. Is there anything going on with Bitcoin at all? Are we dropping there? Let's take a look at Mara. Everybody else is pretty flat. Coin. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
see
I haven't.
anything.
What are
Yeah, I don't see.
crypto? No, I mean crypto prices, like Bitcoin, 104,000, so that's pretty stable. In this case, they just have company news that once again they're trying to raise money. They've announced a $330 million secondary offering, some convertible notes that they're issuing at 4.875%. That's not so bad. Anyways, for these company notes, so that's yeah, again not tradable
Yeah,
news. That is.
yeah, not fun. Wow. All right. That is. Look at Run is here. You traded this yesterday for a short. They're making our gappers list this morning on the way down, just getting under that 2% as they continue to drop here. So I know you had a short out of the gates on this one, which
Yep.
gave you a nice drop and then bounced back again and then came back down. Got really choppy after that. But today they're back on deck. All depends how much volume we get, Peter, right? We got great volume yesterday. Like, look at the daily. This was what made it tradable. I'm not sure if we're going to get that type of volume today, and I'm very news driven at this point. Will you be watching this again today?
No, no, it was sort of a one day thing just because it had news at the open, it had a very specific catalyst, and it traded, sort of met my criteria. It was interesting later in the morning that we did have so Gary and Paris, who joined the microphone around 11 o'clock and come into the room. They were talking about this trade, and we're talking. It's interesting to me that Gary was saying how, well, it's not even worth his time, right? Because the thing would move like 50 cents, and he's not going to trade anything that just moves 50 cents. He can't make any money on it. It's not even worth his time. He'd have to take so many shares. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, huh. I hear that quite often, and I guess it's just different approaches to the market because he's like, I'd have to take thousands of shares, and that just doesn't make any sense. And I didn't even think about it when I took the trade because I do a fixed risk. My number of shares vary literally from like 20 shares to 20,000 shares, depending on what the stock is and what my risk is. Yesterday, I mean, I was taking this, and I think I had something like a 12-cent risk on it or something like that, right? So, and so that means I ended up with thousands of shares, and I'm like, I don't, what's the problem with that? So um I guess it just depends on your perspective and how you're trading. So trade what you're comfortable with. You don't like a $5-6 stock, no problem with that, right? But make sure that you understand and you balance your trades in all cases so that you're trading in a way that you can drive consistent profitability over time. So these are the types of things we talk about in various webinars and teach, because I get it, right? Sometimes a $5 stock, it can be more difficult because you can often be trading for pennies compared to a $200 stock where you're hoping for a multi-dollar move. Obviously, if it's only $5, I can't be looking for it to move $3, right? That's probably not a realistic expectation.
Yep, 100%, 100%. All right, guys, that covers a gap up and gap down. Peter, as far as gapping down today, anything you like this morning? I mean, I know that there's slim pickings today, but anything out there that you have your eye on today?
Well, we did mention the crypto. I noticed all the crypto tickers: Coin, Riot, Mara, MSTR. Those are some of the key ones I look at. They're all gapping down a little bit, not by much, but it's one of the few areas that was gapping down. Boeing, I was talking about that yesterday. We didn't really look at it yesterday morning pre-market, but it just made, so like there were some rumors of news that actually never materialized. You can see some sort of big movement. The biggest move happened in about a 3-minute span midday where the thing jumped like $5. And yeah, and then look at that, like one candle, right? You can see on a 5-minute chart, smashed up and right back down. So yeah, Boeing is a little volatile as people are waiting for news out of Air India. There was some suggestion that they were going to be releasing some black box recording results. I haven't seen any of that, so I still think officially we don't know what the cause was, right? Human error, mechanical error, some combination thereof. We're still waiting. But there was, of course, other news yesterday with Boeing that they had actually lost some market share. Airbus had won a couple of contracts off of them, which sort of increased their pipeline and decreased Boeing's prospects. So So that was on the downside. On the upside, by the way, Boeing is one of the two companies that Boeing and Lockheed are the two that apparently are the front runners to get the initial contracts for the Golden Dome. For anybody that doesn't know what that is the Trump administration suggestion that they're going to be building a missile defense system in the U.S. called the Golden Dome. I don't exactly know what. I mean, I don't know enough of the details about how that would work or what the technology would be behind it, but Boeing and Lockheed apparently, if there's are the two that will likely just get the nod, probably in a very streamlined and not wholly competitive tender process, I would imagine. So there's not a lot of companies that could do this thing. I'm not even sure if it's technically possible, but it doesn't matter, right? If it's good, it's what could move the stock if we hear news about it. So be aware of it, right? Because if you're watching Boeing and you hear news, about some of these, projects, you need to know if they're in the running, and it could have a material impact on their stock price. But Carlos, yeah, I mean, anyways, those are just things I'm watching in the periphery. I don't think we're going to get news on that today, although you never know, right? With of course what's happening in the Middle East, that could be where thoughts go to, and it just takes that one tweet, right? That one press release for our perspective to change as to what's hot and what's active. So be on guard.
100%. Wow, look at my list, guys. 2 tickers, both secondary. Nothing fun happening here right now at the moment. I know someone mentioned earlier LYB, so let's take a look at some of the stuff you guys are watching this morning. LYB, no, this is not in play. This is something that I think only you are watching, maybe. 1,000 shares traded, barely moving. How did you find this ticker? Is it something maybe, I don't know how you ran into this, but again, not really in play, so be careful on that one. If you know something we don't know, like if you know they're doing something that's going to pop this up, let me know so we can start buying it up. But if you don't have some inside information, we probably won't be trading that today. Affirm here, let's take a look, up 2.4, really no volume, pretty quiet right now, so don't see nothing happening. Can it take off at the market open? Yes, but the likelihood is that it's just going to be pretty flat right now, so I don't see anything on there today. CRCL, I think the fun on this one continues. I do have this on my list. Oh, I forgot to add in the banner, but I do have it as a secondary. Again, can trade very well, just got to be very, very careful and manage your risk accordingly. What else? Baba, I do see Baba. Javier has it on his list. Let's take a look here. Baba this morning, yeah, just flat, down 1.2. Again, not heavily in play. There's really nothing to see at the moment. So again, I won't add it to my list. And it hasn't been really intraday trading well, at least for me. The few times I watched it has not been great, so I'll keep it off. And as far as the Magnificent Seven, we'll look at all of them. I know Peter, you talked about Tesla yesterday a little bit. They are just all flat, right? Tesla, a little bit of volume. If you look at NVIDIA, same thing, just following the overall market. They're all just kind of stalled here for a little bit with so much different news headlining today and this week, right? The potential strike on Iran. You got the Fed decision today, which shouldn't really matter. I mean, there's just all these things happening. Is US going to get involved or not? All this stuff is up in the air, and these stocks are just waiting. Like Meta, same thing, pretty flat, no volume. Just quiet. There's just quiet across the board. I don't see anything that's moving great here. QUBT, someone mentioned Quantum. We'll look at PLTR in a second. Quantum, same thing, just flat. PLTR, I don't see anything happening here. Pretty flat as well with some volume. Reddit, someone mentioned Reddit as well. We'll go through some of these quickly. Again, flat as well. It is just a very, even more quiet than yesterday, this morning. So a lot more quieter than what we saw. SMR, same thing, had a big sell-off yesterday. Today they're just up 3% here. Could be something. We can add it to our secondary list. I'm not a big fan of SMR, but we could get something out of there. All right, I'm going to stop here. Peter, I'm not sure if there's anything else you want to cover, but we'll stop here. I'm going to be looking at scanners. This primary list, I'm just going to throw on there AMD, PLTR, and maybe Tesla and NVIDIA. I mean, that's it. Just some usual suspects. They're not really in play, but there's not much going on right now. We got to wait for the market open, see how the market feels, which way the market is going to drag things, and I think that is where our play is going to come from. We might not have a list to start the show, a great list to start the show today. The open, I mean. All right, let's get over to bearreturns.com. Yeah.
I was going to ask
Go ahead.
if anybody out there has heard any news on Tesla. I'd be interested. There was some news that they were shutting down production of their Cybertruck and their Model Y in their Texas factory. They were sort of saying it was because of the July 4th weekend, but the suggestion is it's really because there was all these photos, I guess, these aerial photos of shopping mall parking lots that were filled with unsold Teslas, and that they are, they're struggling with sales. We've heard that before. The Cybertruck has sort of had a rough go of it, so I wouldn't be surprised. But what I'm more interested in is what's happening with their the robo taxi. Isn't that launch supposed to be? It's next week, right? I think when it's now scheduled for. But I haven't heard any
Yes, yes.
updates, so I don't know what that means. Is it still on? Yeah, nine. Okay, 6:28. So it's supposed to be happening. You know what? It's I mean
Being
that I think is going to
overshadowed,
be,
man. Everything's just
yeah.
like this is being overshadowed. This would be front and center, top three headline, but just with everything going on, it's just being overshadowed. But yeah, well, that should be fun. That should do something for their stock.
I mean, absolutely, because you got all the fans and then you got the detractors. I mean, Tesla is just a very polarizing stock. It has been for a while, and let alone the political stuff Elon was engaged in. Just as a company, right? There's a lot of question over their technology and where they're going. So again, I'm waiting for news on Tesla. It continues to be in play, and wait, as the news will just keep it active. All right, guys, let's talk about what we've got in our community. As Carlos was saying, we do have stuff happening here. It is Wednesday, which means that we have our Wednesday Wisdom series. We're going to talk psychology, and we've got a couple of sessions. We definitely have Dr. Vanessa Charlin's with us twice today. She's on at noon on Wednesdays. Talks about her trades very very openly and actively. Shares what she does. She's an active trader and sort of loves the market. So that's always a good session. 8 o'clock tonight. Sorry, 7 o'clock. It looks like. Is that right? Is that the right time? 7 o'clock. It says here. Anyways, she's going to be back and doing the webinar this evening. That is going to be, she's going to be talking about how you dream big but trade small, right? So, hey, look, and I love the statement here she's making: trading is a job, not a jackpot. And we talk about trading for a living, and you have to treat it like a serious endeavor, right? It isn't a get rich quick scheme. It is something you
Right.
work on over time. So if you're interested in that, you can always go to bearabletraders.com and find the information under webinars. And if you're an elite member, then you can join these, right? And you can be there live for these sessions. So hopefully you'll join today for those. If you want to be a member, well, once again, bearabletraders.com is the place to go. And you can find the membership options from the intro right up to the elite annual. Pick the deal that's best for you, and you can join us. We do have a special going on right now, $19 for the 1 week access. If you're in YouTube, well, first off, give us a thumbs up. But then you can click on that link that we've posted, and then I'm sure we will post again that tell you about the $19 deal that you can take advantage of. And then you can join us in the chat room. See what it's like to be a member, right? Take advantage of all the conversation, the information, the data that gets shared. It's a great community to be part of. So, and being part of a trading community can really help contribute to your success. So hopefully you'll consider joining us. And if you do that, then, well, look, I mean, we'd be happy to have you. Also, if you wanted to have a funded account, let's say, for whatever reason, you may want to trade other people's money. Andrew's looking to invest in your success. Our funded accounts are available. You go to bearabletraders.com/funded account, and you are trading in a simulator, but Andrew will pay you real money for success. Because we find that that gives some people the little push that they need, the encouragement to start their trading career, and that's what we want to do. We really want to encourage people to take this in a mature fashion and hopefully be able to trade for a living. So check it out. If nothing else, it's good to understand how that works, and whether it's something that might be right for your trading journey. So with that, oh, look at that, my alarm's going off. We've got 5 minutes to the market open. So Carlos, time to set some levels. Moderators, get your list in. I'll let everybody know what we're doing, and we'll get ready to go live.
Yeah, it will be an easy one today, guys. I only put 3 tickers there, and they're not really in play. I'm just watching them because there's nothing else. But my eyes are going to be on the trading terminal scanners to see what else is getting volume. So Tesla right now, they're going to be easy levels because we're stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. So if you look at this one here off the daily, I'm going to mark down just the high of the pre-market at 320.36, and then I'm going to mark the low of the pre-market is already marked down for me on the previous day close. So that's really it. I'm not adding any more levels on here. I might add, you know what, add this one, 311, just something below this area of great support. Hopefully we continue to hold that. If we lose, that could be a good short opportunity. But that's going to be it for me on Tesla there. 1 second, I think I messed up the list here. There we go. The next one is going to be POTR. Again, just pretty much flat, and as far as levels, really easy. High of the pre-market and the low, that's all you need, and then everything else is set for you on the last 2 trading days. You got a lot of support happening there. And last but not least, AMD's been trading well, so I'm going to keep an eye on these guys again. I have the pre-market of 129.58, and your low is sitting at 127.96. So once you do that, I mean, you're stuck. Not a whole lot of movement, just between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days. But look at AMD starting to trade much, much better. This is the AMD that we've been used to, just kind of coming back here. It went sideways for a while here, at least not in the intraday trading wise, but now becoming pretty active. So looking really good there. All right, that's it. Peter, what is our team watching?
All right, our team are starting to get their lists in as always, and as always, well, as usual anyways, we have some common stocks that we're watching. Right at the top here, we've got Nathan with his usual list, Magnificent 7 and AMD, right? Sticks to what works. Thor is going to be watching NVIDIA and Apple, and of course the futures. Jared watching the new... Oh, he's making fun of me up here too. The nuclear stocks. Anyways, in OCO, SMR, NU, and he's watching APPS. He's actually, he's got QTMN. I don't even like the quantum stock. That's not something we look at normally. But anyways, Jared's going to be looking at it. Lenny's got a shorter list than usual, watching AMD, Marvell, NVIDIA, and Tesla. Brendan's going to be watching CRCL, AMD, Tesla, and Marvell. Eamon, just watching AMD. Well, it's back on my list too, because I'm watching AMD, Tesla, NVIDIA, PLTR, and MRVL. Phil is going to be watching NVIDIA, Tesla, Oracle, CRCL, and Marvell. And Megan, she's also watching Marvell, MRVL, and Dell, another one we hadn't really talked about. But there you go. There's a moderator's list. Obviously, you've got Carlos's list at the bottom, as always. And, well, you know, he and I are going to be watching this open. I don't know how active we're going to be, but, you know, we won't be afraid to jump if and when the opportunity presents. We also won't be afraid to just sit on our hands and watch if there is no opportunity. So either way, right, we'll be ready. So hopefully you guys are feeling good for this market open, right? You're feeling calm, ready, and focused. I'm hoping Andrew's going to be on here soon. I don't see him in the chat room yet. He's making a last minute entrance again today. Do I need to poke him? Are you out there, Andrew? It's your chance to let me know. All right.
Good. All right, friends. We'll get ready to go here.
Oh my God! 1 minute, Carlos. A minute to win it.
Minute. Yep.
All right. Well, let's stick around here. I gotta flip over my platform, so let's go, baby.
Yeah, doing the
over
same.
to my live trading configuration. I don't have any. Like yesterday, I had run right at the open. Today, I don't really have anything I'm focused on. So
yeah, it's weird today, man. Well, let's see what we get here. All right, let me get my 1 minute. I got my scanners up just to see how the turbo breakdown, turbo breakup, see if anything comes up there that I like. Let's get the 1 minute. NVIDIA doing some stuff here, active.
Yeah. NVIDIA's dropping. AMD is dropping.
Gotta fix my list.
All right, here's the bell. Oh, I am watching Marvell. You did convince me to maybe put an eye to it. We'll see what it does.
Yeah. Got it in a second there.
Whoa.
Give me a second, guys. Got to fix my list here. MR.
Initial pull down on stocks here.
Oh, come on.
Give me a pullback.
CRCL.
There it is.
All right, Nvidia hitting the scanners. So for those that have not seen our scanners, this is what it looks like here. So you can see what tickers are getting volume. And I see a lot of names show up here, like CRCL is getting a lot of turbo breakdown. But we know we can short that, so that's no fun. But yeah, I'm looking at this to see what else that's not on my list is getting some kind of action today. NVO. Anything you like, Peter? Anything that's got your eye so far?
I am short on NVIDIA. It's looking a little tentative here, but there we go. Come on, NVIDIA. There it is, low of day, taking a partial on NVIDIA. Nice. There we go. Now we're going lower. Perfect. Taking another partial on NVIDIA.
Very nice, very nice.
Don't have the best of entries here. I was trying to get in just over 144. I got filled at 143.93, which means I'm a little too close into the price action for comfort. But if it comes back up to my break even, I'm just going to let it stop me out, because this thing always has the potential to pop hard.
All right, hopefully get another leg down here. What's the next low we have here? It is the low from 2 days ago, 143.23. Let's see if there it is, Peter. Oh, that's beautiful. There you go.
I already got a partial down here, so I'm not. There we go. Come on, let's go lower.
What's going on with him? Sims. QBT is doing some stuff again. CRCL is just also a nice short. Oh, we could short CRCL.
Yes.
100,000 shares. Oh, I thought we couldn't. Yeah, we could short it. I thought we didn't have.
There we go. Come on. Taking another partial here. Ah, what happened? I didn't get filled. Wow, that's weird. Okay, I did not get filled on that. I tried to take a partial down at the low, and I did not get filled. My order just hung there, so I canceled it. Hopefully we'll go back down.
PLTR. Tesla looks messy to me.
It doesn't look good. It's weird. It's rare that you don't get a fill, especially on an NVIDIA. Usually it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
But I said I was right down. Like I was looking at the 143.15 and hit the button, and it just my order just hung there. So let's see if we can go back.
Just looking at the scanner, see if I find something, but I don't see anything I like. Quantum QUBT popped up, now selling back down below the VWAP here, so that's been very active this morning. Where's the SPY up to? Where is? All right, nothing for me yet, guys. I don't see anything I love at the moment. Kind of thought it was gonna be this type of day.
APPS has had a sell-off at the open. Anybody watching that? PLTR also sort of looked like it was going to pop up and then drop down to go red on the morning, but it's now hanging around yesterday's close.
UBT coming back. UBT.
Watching QBTS here. Let's see what's QUBT doing. Yeah, they look similar.
Yep. Dira, Tesla.
I'm hanging it.
Okay.
Oh. I'm hanging in here on NVIDIA short just to see what it's going to do. It's really uncertain as to where it's going to go. Could go either way at this point.
Tesla does look a nice long. It got a nice 5-minute ORB engulfing here as well. So you got a 5-minute engulfing, and yeah, it looks nice off the VWAP as well. So if you traded that, that's really good. Getting a nice, beautiful move right now. Look at that. Sweet. Sweet, sweet, sweet.
All right. Now, come on, let's see. Let's go, NVIDIA. Lower. No, not yet. Longer it stays here, the more likely it is to bounce higher. So
I like QBT long here. Let's see. We'll give it a shot. QBT long. Oh, what a horrible feel. I got in right when it popped. Seconds later, I would have had like literally a 20 cents better entry. Right when I hit the button, it immediately moved up. So not ideal. Stop for this 2050. I don't want to really go in below this area here. So we'll see if we can get a cushion here, but need the volume to come in. Volume needs to really pour in here if we want to get going on quantum. Let's see what else is happening here. BDTR, BTDR. What's taking place there? This thing keeps hitting the scanners, but it doesn't look great.
What are you guys watching? Hymns? What is Hymns?
Yeah, see Hymns hit the scanners too.
Not really doing much, really.
But I pulled it up. I didn't see anything that was great. Yeah, let's take a look. Hymns. Let's just try and get above the VWAP here. See if it can hold.
We'll see. Tunde's trading APVO. That's interesting.
I was on a
attack invoking price action.
Imagine. Yes, careful.
Wow, Tesla's got a good move here higher, 320 now.
Yeah, Tesla was a great play, man. I wasn't watching it, but this was a really good move. 5-minute RB, engulfing pattern. If Andrew woke up late, he missed a fortune here because he would have been long on this one. We'll make it for him. But yeah, that's a really nice play. See if QBT can get going. Got a really crappy entry, but we'll see. Let's see if we get at least to the high of the day on this one. Cindy, haven't seen you in a while. Reddit. Let's take a look at Reddit. I do like that ticker. Oh man, yeah, look at that. That's nice.
Reddit's got a decent move higher. Fortunately, my NVIDIA is recovering here a little bit. It's moving higher on me, like as the market is. But it's not doing it with a lot of strength, so I still have hope that we might get down to a new low of day. But
yeah, 20.
I can't do much other. Yeah, I can't do much other than sit in it and just wait. So it'll either work or it won't. It's not in my control anymore.
Yeah, was this NVIDIA you still in?
NVIDIA, yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully uses the VWAP as rejection, but man, things are moving higher except my trade. Everything's going up except my QUBT. AMD is trying to bounce back. Tesla, man, Tesla was the trade of the day. This is beautiful. That is definitely the trade. Look at it go. Just look at it go. Peter, I think you reminded people that they have robot taxis coming out, and everybody just jumped in. They forgot about the war for a minute. Now they're trading Tesla. Like, oh yeah, that's right. Let's go
That
long Tesla.
what happened?
Exactly
321
what
now on
happened.
Tesla. Oh, look at this. It's yeah, it's moving.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
My trade's still hovering over my entry. Hopefully we
There we
can
go.
see move up, but it's struggling. 321. Yeah,
Oh
that's
wow, are you
beautiful.
kidding me?
What happened?
I just got I just got taken out my I got stopped out on my Nvidia trade, but it was like at the high of the candle and it
Mm-hmm.
dropped down right after. They targeted me. They came and took my shares and then dropped.
They
Looks like it's
kicked
going
you
higher
off.
though. So it's all right. It's going higher. So all right. Well, look, not a huge trade, just a little short. I'm sort of it would have been a good partial down at the lows. I don't know why I didn't get filled down there. That was a little weird, but other than that,
Yeah. 2050 is
did
my
get a
stop
trade.
here. We're just flirting with it right now, but it looks like it's gonna drop. Looks very weak here on QUBT. But let's see. 2050 here is where I'll be getting out of this trade. I don't want it going lower than this candle.
Stupid market maker.
Let's see if it gets something going here. RDT is a monster. How's it doing? Man, did I pick the wrong horse today? I picked the wrong horse today again. Same thing yesterday. Oh, it happens, but man, that sucks. Let's see. All right, look at RDT. Look at Tesla. OTR's coming up to the VWAP. Oh, Circle came back up. That's a big move. 148, 153. But if you look at the price action on this thing, it is so difficult to trade. You gotta be really careful with this thing.
Whoa,
It's just
Kaiser. My God,
spread.
look at all those partials. Kaiser on Tesla. You're crazy. You look
20,
at that. Can you see
50.
that, Carlos? Can you show that trade? That's just
Yeah.
interesting that you also use a unique chart pattern. You don't use the candlesticks like most people
Where is that trade? Chat?
in chat. Yeah, look at Kaiser's trade. Plus that like I don't know Manila paper background is messing with my head.
That reminds me of like the test scoring in New York for like the SATs or something. It wasn't something like that, or some kind of New York standardized
The-
testing. That's what it looks like. You fill in the little circles. You guys remember that? They still do that. My kids are not there yet. But
yeah,
that's what this looks like.
yeah. Well, look at all those partials. That's like partial, all the way up. You're like you must have been taking like 2% of your shares off each time. Look how many of them there are.
I'm just about to get. I'm like
There's like
10 cents away from getting stopped out here, but
18
it's trying to
partials.
hold. Trying to hold. Every time it comes right to it, it bounces right back. But it's not looking good if we can make a new high on QUBT.
Yeah.
So,
Anyways, Kaiser, nice trade. I mean, if that's how
yep.
if that's how your trade management works, then there's nothing wrong with it. It's impressive, but impressive. So all right, here we go. 322 now
Ah,
on Tesla. It is just a moving.
I keep double clicking just to make sure I'm ready to get out of this trade. I'm gonna get out. I think it's gonna drop. I think it's loose. There's so many bids at 2050. Yeah, there it is.
Oh,
I'm getting out. Look at that slippage. There's so many bids that showed up at 2050. I knew it. I'm like, this thing's not gonna be able to hold that. Not gonna be able to hold that.
Carlos, I guess we should have just stuck with the basics, right?
I
Just
know,
trade
man. Afraid that
Tesla,
the
and
same old usual suspects, like my POTR
yeah,
here, which looks Yeah, let's go long PLTR. It's got to move here above the
Oh,
VWAP. Did the pullback, so we're gonna go long PLTR. See if we can get above to the high of the day. Yeah, man. Sometimes you know what? If I look at how many tickers I trade, because Interactive Brokers could give you the number of volume you trade, the number of shares traded on Tesla, not AMD so much, Nvidia.
mm,
Those two alone, oh my goodness, it's
yeah.
like they blow everybody else out of the water. As far as you could do that with Interactive Brokers, you could run some reports and kind of give you like your top tickers, and Nvidia and Tesla are just top of the list, right? And PLTR is not there yet because we just started trading PLTR, but you can see how many the total number of shares, which is really pretty impressive. I was trying to figure, hey, this is a lot of number of shares we trade throughout the year, whatever, throughout the day. Um, what does it take to get a large ID, a large trader ID? And I looked it up. It's like 20 million shares a day. I'm like, yeah, that's never gonna happen. I'm never getting that.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen. That is
I don't want to do that.
insane,
Yeah.
insane. What it takes to get that ID. Andrew has one of those. I know that. But yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, well, PLTR is getting a lot of volume too. I think they trade about 70 plus million shares a day. So it's it's got good average volume as well.
Yeah, they do. They do. They're steady too. Like every day they get that volume. They don't really Oh, hold on, friends. Andrew's on. We're gonna disconnect from chat. All right, we'll disconnect from here. Right, we'll continue on YouTube. Let me mute Andrew. All right. So yeah, so it's they're very steady with the volume. Even bad days, choppy days, they're constantly getting that 70 to 100, in some cases 140 when it comes to PLTR. So they're pretty good with that. All right, friends. One stop out on QBT for me. I am long PLTR VWAP breakout.
PLTR.
So let's see if we can get high of the day here. Looks good on the 5 and the 1. It's all about the continuation. What if the Andrew comes? I think Andrew, before he even logged in, the first thing he did was pull up Tesla and went long. He's long Tesla.
Yep, he did.
Love it, man. Love it, love it. And he already took a partial, so he made some money there. I need to get to that point, man. I need to get to a point where I can just do that. Just wake up, just make money, and enjoy the rest of the day. No.
Yeah, he's not afraid to chase things that are moving. I still struggle to do that, but
Yep.
he's like, well, it's moving. The trend is your friend. It's an oldest
Yeah.
saying, right? It's so
Absolutely.
I just have not been able to make myself do that yet, but eventually.
Yeah, getting in on stocks that are trending, I find that to be so challenging, man. I got to find a way to get into that. Maybe by taking really small shares, like 50, 25 shares. I don't see myself trying it in Sim. It's hard to go back to Sim once you've been trading in the live account for so long. Even to
Right.
try strategies, like I'd rather try them with a very low number of shares and just stay with my platform here, my setup. Um, but it's not good advice, by the way. You should definitely go to Sim. That's wrong on my part. OTR struggling to get above here. Yeah, exactly, Osam. Yep, Osam, that's exactly it. All right, so here it is. So the SPY is just taking off. If POTR does not take off here, I'm going to be slightly upset because this is the same thing happened yesterday. I was in NVIDIA. The SPY took off. We should have made good money. And NVIDIA, everybody else took off. AMD took off. You name it. POTR took off. And my trade I was in, NVIDIA just stayed flat. That was not cool. So hopefully that's not the case today. I mean, look at the SPY breaking through the high of the day, going up higher. I mean, this market is just amazing, man. It really is. So Yeah, don't let me down, PTR. This is ridiculous. The fact that you're not at the high of the day right now with the SPY moving the way it is. Like, come on.
Come on. Don't you dare, PLTR.
Doing to me. AMD, PLTR, struggling. Tesla was the trade today, man. By the time I pulled it up and was able to like check things out, it was gone already. It was already well on its way. But like you say, Peter, we say that now, right? But my entry could have been here. Still a great entry,
Yeah.
but this felt like a chase. It really felt like a chase. POTR. My stop, by the way, here, friends, is around 138.60 ish. Just this candle. This I find this too close to the VWAP. Normally, I would do something like here, like this candle, but I find it too close to the VWAP for it to be the stop. So on 138 here, you got a lot more support and resistance that can hopefully become support. But this stock is just struggling as the SPY is going higher. Makes no sense to me. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, Andrew's jumping in on all sorts of things.
Hmm.
He's making up for lost time today. He's in Marvell. He's in CRCL. He just got out of Tesla.
Yep, yep. CPOTR, can we hold? POTR is not looking good, and I don't understand why with the way everything else is moving here. Um, yeah, if we don't get back above the VWAP, I might pull the trigger on the PLTR here. We need to get it above that VWAP. That's important. Have they break on? Yeah, Andrew is in that one. He is in a MRVL. For the
Yeah.
have the day breakout. So he's in that one. I think he's in Circle as well. Yes, Circle for the half day breakout as well. He's in that one.
Yep.
Amazon VWAP. I'll take a look. Let me see if I get a little cushion on BLTR. We can mess around here. Man, it's just struggling. That's not good. Amazon, yeah, but volume is not great on Amazon right now. So very difficult price action. But yeah, look at the breakout. I mean, I don't know if you got a deep enough pullback, risk to reward with the high of the pre-market, but it depends. Right now, the SPY is crushing it. So this can do well. This can do well. Not the ideal VWAP breakout that I would look for, right? Because it's the breakout, a little bit of pullback. I guess you could take this as a confirmation candle, but again, I find this so far. I would like this closer to the VWAP if we can. Kind of like POTR did. POTR did is just slightly below it, right? So, but we're so close to the VWAP, it gives you a good risk to reward. And I'm hoping that the VWAP acts as support as it's just struggling to push higher here. 5 minute looks good on POTR, but again, we're making a new low on this 5 minutes, so that right there is not great. Nvidia, let's take a look. Nvidia, yeah, it's just kind of hovering here. POTR is dropping. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bail on POTR. Man, what a
It is
day!
just, I
It
know,
is a
market's not.
brutal day. Wow, it is not. Everything I touch is turning to cocky. Not good. Not good. Not good.
Well, Carlos,
Yeah.
sometimes that happens.
Yeah,
No, the
man.
market
Yep.
just doesn't
Yep.
want to play nice with you today.
It is not treating me well at
Tesla,
all.
great move on Tesla. That's
Yeah, man. It's a shame. It's a shame I didn't take that trade. Mm-mm-mm. TMC. TMC, the metals company. The metals company. Nice move. Trade FTW. Traded this one. Nice. No, I'm not in PLTR, man. I got out. I got out. If it sets back up, I'll get in, but I get out of it. I'm not holding past my stop, man. Very painful lessons learned that way. So I'd rather get back in if it sets up again, but I'd rather not hold and risk being down at 138, 137 because it can continue dropping. It can go red, right? So there's no reason to hold. AMD's breaking out, Peter.
I know. Well, seeing it here. I mean, Nvidia broke out earlier, went green. After I got stopped out, it definitely was like holding a view. I should have pointed that out to actually, Carlos, because that might have been your type of trade, I think, right?
Which one?
Nvidia came through. Nvidia at VWAP?
Yeah. Right here, the push to the pullback, and then the breakout within this candle here, and never tested our stop loss. So yeah, this would have worked out. Not the easiest trade, but it would have worked out good though. I like the way this.
Hindsight.
I think
right?
somebody did call it out in chat. But again, I was in POTR and some other ones, so didn't pull it up right away. See, this is why you don't want to stay in a trade, guys. Look at POTR; it's just going to go red. Like the level 2 is not looking healthy at all. So don't want to stay in it. Gotta just wait. All right, let me see what scanners. What do we have in the scanners? JD breaking down. Not great. UNH. Remember this, guys? UNH. UNH. INTC doing some stuff. UPST. MP. Yeah, Reddit is crushing it, man. Reddit, is it still going here? Their daily's just nice. Yeah, look at that.
You guys are watching this Reddit. Let's see. Where can I put Reddit? Put it over here.
What strategy on POTR? Yeah, VWAP breakout. So this will be the breakout candle. Not the cleanest one. I mean, I could have waited for a better setup. So VWAP breakout. Here's the pullback, and then here's the confirmation candle, right? And you did get a little push up. We just couldn't get the continuation. And look at this weakness now. This weakness is it's so clean, so weak to the bottom side here. But Tesla was the trade. Tesla, wow. AMD, nice. QBT came back down. Same thing here. This was actually a cleaner VWAP breakout. But I did get a brutal entry. Like if I would have got the entry I need, I'd probably at least taken a partial. But my entry was so bad. So we got stopped out on that too. So not a great day today. I'm concerned that the next couple of hours might be just chop, waiting for the Fed. Even though we know it's going to happen. Unless you're in Tesla, that's the concern. We'll see.
And we talked about that, right? I mean, I do think, the major money is going to be waiting to see what the rate announcement is, especially with, again, the awkward timed holiday on a Thursday, which means that we get the rate announcement, then we go into a day break on the markets, and then we come back for one day on Friday. So Friday could be interesting trading just with that and, of course, the macroeconomic things that are happening, right? I mean, don't know what that... Carlos, did you see those statements, the again, out of Iran, where they're saying, like, tonight is going to be a night to remember for centuries? I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I know what that means, man. This is...
What does that mean?
That's scary stuff, man. That's scary stuff.
No kidding. I mean, they've done that on purpose, of course, to create uncertainty. The old
Yeah.
FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, right?
Yep.
But still, it's like, what does that mean? I don't know.
I don't know, man. These leaders, man. These leaders don't really care about their people, man. Because why would you do that? Why would you do that?
I think it
Like
feels like there's just a
you know who's
level of,
gonna get hurt. Like it's not
yeah,
them. It's the innocent people that get hurt. That's the messed
I
up
know.
part. You know. So
I think there's a level of frustration and desperation going on that is, yeah, will lead to um, risky actions. So,
yep, yep. It is not cool. Not cool.
all right, Andrew's out of everything now. As the run and gun higher seems to have slowed down on everything that he was trading. So,
Um, mm, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. See, everybody's excited about some of these comments. Yeah, I mean, it's everybody has their point of view, but I think at the end of the day, there's good people everywhere, man. No matter what country you're in, it doesn't matter. People look at certain country like, oh, that's a bad country, whatever it is. You don't know that. I mean, yes, their leaders might not be great, but there's innocent people that want no part of this whatsoever, and they
yeah,
have no choice. They're stuck in it, right? So
that goes everywhere, right? I mean,
yeah, well,
some the leadership and that sometimes reflect the will of the people. Sometimes there's a divergence, so we have to
yeah,
keep that in mind. I mean, that goes for everywhere. I mean, heck, we saw it here in Canada when you know
hmm
the once beloved prime minister in Trudeau, when he started his job compared to how he finished his job, radically different public opinion on him, right?
yeah, I saw
We're
that.
certainly seeing that elsewhere. So,
Yep, yep. JD, I think we're saying the same thing. You're saying no, Carlos, but I think we're saying the same thing. That's exactly what we're saying.
anyways, all right. What can we do in the markets here, though? It's where we want to find trading opportunities. Tesla looked like it was halting, but
Gonna go some more,
it's
man.
going higher
Yep,
again. Yeah.
yep,
Wow.
yep.
Tesla's really on a good tear this one. You know what? I'm so hesitant to take things again. Leverage that trend, Carlos. I don't know. I got to figure out how. Maybe together we can figure out how we work on that.
Yeah, yeah. We should take like small shares, like literally 25
Yeah.
shares, just to test things out because we got to figure out a
Yeah.
way to like join this party here. We should be in this trade here, you know,
Well, and
maybe for
you know,
a scalp or something, but
right.
we got to take an
We don't have to
opportunity,
look
man.
any. We don't have to look
Hmm.
any farther than our buddy Andrew, who
Yeah,
woke up late this morning, jumped right in, and he's like, "Oh yeah, the trend's moving. Let's go." And he
yep,
got in.
yep,
Now it didn't last very long because the trend was he was sort of 2/3 of the way through it, but he wasn't afraid to jump on there, and it did give him an opportunity. So
yep,
I
yep.
mean, I think you know what I mean. That's one of the things. Funny, I had some personal mentorship before with Creda, who's was long associated with our community, and she's a great trading psychologist and great help to me. But I want to get the big move. I can't get my head around not catching that full move, and that's part of the reason why I take reversals. And that's not I know intellectually that's not the most reliable way to trade, but I can't emotionally get myself past it. So, anyways, it doesn't help, I suppose, that I have a very high win percentage taking my reversals. I just don't get very many of them.
Right, right. Which simulator is better, DAS or Trading Terminal? You can't compare them. DAS simulator is going to be better. So the Trading Terminal one right now is a great way to get started. You know, great way to get started. Like you can
Yeah.
start on that one, and you can learn a lot. You could practice your strategies and all of that. But when it comes to actual trading, you got to go with DAS when you get to that point. So it's by stages, right? So you start with this. We start with the trading terminal simulator. All the information is on there, right? Eventually, you move up to a DAS simulator, or you move into a funded account. Then, if you do great on these steps, then you move to opening up your own your own live account with DAS, with interactive brokers, right? So it's like different levels depending on where you're at. If you're brand new, tradingterminal.com is the way to go right now. You're gonna
Yeah.
learn a ton there, a ton. So,
Yeah.
but you can't. They're not apples to apples comparison, But they give you the same information, both live data, both prices, whatever's happening in the market. You're gonna get the same thing. But eventually, you got to upgrade to DAS. Now, if you're looking to only use Sim, right, for whatever, maybe you got a couple of years before you can actually trade, or months where you can trade live, then with trading term, you're gonna save a lot of money.
Yeah.
You're gonna save a lot of money. So if your plan is not to like go live right away, and because some people they work and they say, hey, I'm gonna start next year. Like that's what I did. I traded in simulator for 7 months. That was 7 months of $150 a month, or so you can save a lot of money if your plan is to just simulate for a while. You use a trading terminal. Then a month or two before going live in DAS, do 3 months with us through DAS and get that practice. But yeah, that's the way I would do it. POTR never came back, so did not give him an opportunity to jump back in here. He's trying to hold the previous day close. Tesla just keeps going. Peter, let's take 25 shares here. Let's go long Tesla, 25 shares. It looks toppy. I feel like it should go short down to 321.
I feel like this is chasing now. I'm not sure. That's like an open thing. Maybe I'm justifying it, but
yeah, we felt like it was chasing here. I felt like it was chasing here. Even here, I felt like it was over, and this thing's up now.
All right,
$3.
fair.
But yeah, I am putting the peer pressure on Peter. You're right, putting that peer pressure on Peter.
Don't worry, I'm largely immune to it, so don't worry about me. I've been doing this long enough. I'd be more tempted to go short here. So
I know, down to 321, down to 25. Yeah, 25 shares. It just doesn't matter. But I wanna take 25 shares, but I want to take it like an actual strategy that we're gonna test, right?
right.
Not just gambling. So this is not like, I'm not gonna jump in here. The one we want to test is when something's moving up like this strong, and we get some kind of pullback on the way back up on a trend trade, on a volume. We're gonna
We
go
want to do
long.
that somewhere, Carlos.
Yeah.
Nvidia is more the one that I would say it
Yeah.
still looks like it's got some strength there.
Got some room left, right?
Now 145 too has been an important number for it. Remember last Thursday when it was just hitting its head on that, and then Monday it
Yeah.
came and broke through 145. So it's
We're going back to it again here.
we're going back to it now. Yeah.
Oh, man, this market has not been fun for me. This week has not been. You know what? I don't do well on 4-day weeks. Last time I had a red week was on a 4-day week. There's something about this that doesn't work. So I'm in the red this week. What was that? We're off that Monday. I remember that. That was a tough week. Couldn't buy a win.
All right. What do we got? Anything interesting here?
No.
Apple. Wow.
Only interesting thing I have is our good buddy Brian. Let's go to Brian, see what he's up to.
Hey everybody, Brian from Bearable Traders here, and I'm on this cruise to Alaska. We're up here right now, and I got up a little early this morning, just checking things out here. And you can see out in the pool area, a really nice ship, and set up here, doing a little bit of trading in the open. So hope everyone's having a great time, and we'll see you soon.
Wow,
Awesome.
he's got good enough internet on the ship to trade.
I mean, the ship you mentioned earlier. I mean, look at the massiveness. I don't know how somebody will feel
Yeah, well,
claustrophobic.
that.
In the room, I get it, but man, this is
Yeah,
big. This is big.
that one looks like a relatively small ship. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
is
It looks
Brian
the
married?
Alaska
Yes,
one,
he
right?
is.
Yeah, he is. He is
Yes, he
married.
is. Yeah, his wife's great. She's a great lady.
Mm.
Got to spend some time with her both in Vancouver and in New York over the last couple of years.
Yeah,
So
I met her in Vancouver for the first time on the last trip or the trip before, one of the
I think it was the
meetups.
trip
So
before. I don't think we saw her last time.
yeah, maybe the trip before. Yeah. Brian's got a cruise line ship. Yeah, yeah, he's got it. That's his. He's
Yeah, that's it. I noticed they had. I guess that's what they do on the Alaskan cruises. I noticed the pool was enclosed, unlike the Mediterranean ones where it's an open air pool,
oh,
which I guess
imagine
makes
how
sense. It'd
cold
be
it's gonna be
cold.
up there.
Yeah,
Imagine how cold it's
exactly.
gonna be in that direction, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
must cost a lot to heat that glass dome in the middle of the ocean. Anyways,
yeah. Well, if you keep the water warm, that's what really matters, right? Keep that water warm, and you're good to go.
true.
Nvidia, you was right about Nvidia. Peter got going nicely here. Um, oh, look at that. How's our Tesla? Are you guys in Tesla? I know you guys took it. Are you guys still in it? Yes, Powell is speaking today at 2:30. Minutes are usually released at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern
Two,
time.
yeah, exactly. Yep.
Andrew got a Lambo and Brian got a ship. Yeah, that's how these guys roll, man. You want to learn how to get a Lambo and how to buy a ship? Go to bearwithtraders.com, click on memberships there, and you can join these guys and get your own ship. Tesla, POTR coming back. Circle. There were some really good moves today. They were really nice, but man, I missed two really great moves today. Mm. What did I get? I'll show you what I got. I got this. This is what they gave me, man. Thank you for your services. That's what I got. You killed it on CRCL. Oh, beautiful, man. I'm telling you, I picked the wrong horse today twice. Everything, not everything, but there's some good moves out here, Peter. There's some
Yep.
really good moves. CRCL, beautiful engulfing crack. I think in Tesla had another 5 minute. I mean, this is the most perfect 5 minute engulfing crack you can probably ever get. I mean, what else you at? What else you want? What else do you want?
What else do you
This
want?
CRCL is a little bit tougher to take, right? But the Tesla one is so clear. Uh, I'm gonna trade a POTR, which bombed. Might be coming back here. Could be something there. And QBT, which also bombed, became a beautiful short. Marvell, another beautiful 5 minute breakout. Ooh, okay. I don't know what to tell you. It's one of those days. It's one of those days. AMD going for some more. Break high of the day here. 128.93. Just broke it there. Let's see if we get the push. Yeah, POTR is coming back to you. I do like POTR, and we've seen POTR trade better later in the day too. Like the first couple of minutes might be choppy, then an hour in you can get some movement. So I won't be hesitating jumping back in if we get our VWAP breakout type play. So how are we on the daily? Is there any daily resistance preventing us from making this run with the market? Like what's okay, not really. I mean, we are here near all-time highs, I believe that is. So yeah, can be extended on the dailies. Thing has moved up very aggressive lately. Let's see. Here it is. It's coming up to the VWAP. Let's see how it plays out here. Impulsive entries. Yeah, I here and there still take some impulsive trades. I mean, not as much, man. Like if I look at my trades today, I don't see any of them that were impulsive. They were based on a strategy. POTR. This is, I mean, I do this every day. You guys see it here, right? So this is something I will do. QBT could have been better. Execution was a little bit weird. Early breakout for a VWAP, so maybe that I could have waited for that. And you know what? I didn't look at the 5-minute. If I would have looked at the 5-minute, it probably would have stopped me from actually taking this trade because this candle does not look pretty at all. It's a lot of selling pressure. So why the heck would I jump in here to try to go against what this story is telling me? So, I didn't look at that at all. So that could have probably helped. But the POTR trade, this trade was perfect. Perfect trade. Just no continuation. Tesla is reversing. Peter, what do you think of Tesla reversal here? Is this something you're looking at?
Tesla, it's a little early for me for reversals. So the risk to reward isn't there at the moment for me. So it's a little hard. I am watching it, and you got to be careful as to whether this thing could spike higher. So, I mean, the market's still pushing up. So.
Yep. Market is on a roll, man. Andrew is in TQQQ. So he's crushing it on that one there. Market's on a tear. And AMD's following suit here. But yeah, this market is strong. POTR doesn't. I don't think POTR has it in it today. It just looks blah. I don't think it has it in it to break through that VWAP in a nice aggressive fashion at least. All right, let me see what's in the scanners. AVGO hitting the turbo breakup on our train terminal scanners. Not much volume right now. TSCO, QXO. EMPH. This is really neat. If you guys haven't tried it out, man, this is really neat, guys. I mean, definitely check it out. So here's our scanners, right? And what I do is I have these two linked to this chart here. It's a 1-minute chart. So you can link it by these little green arrows. So whatever color you have, you can link it to whatever chart. You can have as many charts as you like. And all you do is just click on the ticker. It brings it up, and you can see how the chart looks, right? Then you can, if you like what you see, you can bring it over to your trading platform. So ASTS is hitting the scanners here. Let's see what it's up to. Oh, ATS is a lower price stock at $1. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's the ATR. Nice, moving. No, it's not complicated at all, Rich. It's very easy, man. Very, very simple. And this is a template. Like when you come in, this is my pre-market show template. So this template is just my scanners, news and all of that. But if you click on here, trading terminal, this is a template we have set up for you. So you don't even have to do anything. So, but try it. Let me know. Let me know if you find it difficult and complicated. And what will you do different? We're always up for feedback.
Sure. You bet.
All right.
Ooh, NVIDIA. Through 145 now on NVIDIA.
Did it punch through?
Yeah, it did.
Very nice. I don't have a play here. Circle is gonna go higher. Yeah, I think everybody made money today but me. This is not cool. It's not supposed to happen. I gotta set up a meeting with a psychologist. I gotta call Krater. Krater, you help Peter, help me. Need help. APH. Oh, Sam is with me. Yes. It is interesting day. Tesla reversal. I don't know, man. I mean, we've been looking at it. It keeps pulling back here. It could go either way. I mean, I don't know. Doesn't look like a mountain pass at all. Doesn't look like it doesn't even look like a great double top, to be honest. Anytime type of double top, I don't see it here. If anything, this thing's going back to 325. Let's take 25 shares. Let's just do it. 25 shares long. Well, what do we got to lose? All right, 25 shares long, Peter. I should take another 25 for Peter. I'll give you the profits, Peter. No, let's see, 25 shares. Just it looks like an ABCD pattern, but I don't like the ABCD pattern because everything looks like an ABCD pattern. I mean, this looks like it a little bit on the 5-minute. In some time frame, you are gonna find an ABCD pattern. That's what I don't like the ABCD pattern because of that. 60-minute ORB breakout. I don't trade that, but we're right on it. Seems like. This will be a great way to set me off for the day. This will set me off. 25 shares. Now you're going to go to like 330. I am just going to take this monitor and take it outside and show what the firearm could do to this thing.
Oh. Nah, come on, Carlos. It's
gonna happen. Watch it. 335. You'll see. 330. The market is laughing at me. Mohammed, so why my chart shows more historical data than yours? It's the same thing. If you click on what chart you look at, the 5-minute. If you click on let's say the daily. Oh, well, let's say the daily, right? You just come back over here. Look at my cursor right in this area. That might be hard to see. But if you come right to the edge, you're going to get this arrow. Oh, you can't see that. You can't see the arrow? That's a shame.
It's like it's a left arrow. It's a little, it looks different anyways.
Oh, so you can't see my cursor on the stream? You only see...
No.
Hold on.
We just see the crosshairs.
Yeah, see, I never noticed that. Huh. Is that a setting?
Uh, I don't know.
Mm.
It's got to be.
Yeah. There we go. Got it. All right, cool.
There it
All right,
is.
so it is.
You're back.
There's my cursor. So once you bring it to the edge, you're going to see the cursor turn into this arrow. See that arrow there? And once you have that arrow, I don't know why they made it so difficult. Like, this is, you gotta be really precise. Like, what are you doing? You gotta be really precise to get. This is stuff that's like, like if you're literally an inch away, not even like a nano inch away here, it doesn't do it.
Nanometer away.
You gotta like be right on it. Like, why you gotta put an arrow here, Das? Put an arrow here where people can click that don't have that type of precision. It just doesn't make sense. And once you go all the way back to the oldest you can go, like 2016 was when Tesla IPO'd, I guess. Then you can just use your arrows. You can always go back there without a problem. But at first, you do have to do it the first time, you know. But yeah, just things like that are just weird. Was that the developer or was that the programmer? I don't know. Don't know. You guys tell me.
Oh, we're back to that debate.
Oh yeah, you tell me who that was.
Yeah. I don't know.
You got people that develop programs that don't actually use them, and they really don't know how time consuming and difficult that is. You know, and then that's the problem. The best developers or programmers are the ones that actually use the program, so they know exactly what to look for, and those are hard to find. Those are hard to find.
Yeah. I don't know where Andrew went away in the chat room there again. Getting some coffee, probably.
Yep. Good TR back at VWAP. Yeah, oh man, this we are at VWAP. This could be good. I like the breakthrough, the pullback. This would have been the confirmation count. That would have been in already, but I'm just gonna wait for more information now. See if we're actually gonna break out. But I would have probably been in right here, guys, because this is our move. Depends how I was trading. Doesn't look like it has great push though, man. It's struggling. Like even when it was down here, it didn't seem, you know, just like the explosiveness that we usually get out of it. So, I don't know. That doesn't seem that way. Tesla's just going sideways right now. I'm not doing a whole lot. Yeah, I'm with you. The comment is the morning feels like it's over into the Fed announcement, and that's what usually happens, right? You get the initial pass, which you did. We got great moves. Tesla, what else? Circle, which the recent IPO has been very active. AMD a little bit on the drop here. Did recover nicely off after 945. So we had some good plays. Again, I just picked two that were not great. But now you might see this sideways action into the Fed announcement. Amazon, yeah, you guys called it Amazon. Very nice breakout here. So that did well. Again, it's just the SPY. The SPY. If you look at the SPY, just look at the way this thing's been moving, and I'm shocked that some of these tickers that normally will follow the SPY, like PLTR, did not partake in this action. So, yeah. NVIDIA eventually got its act together as well. So,
NVIDIA, yeah, it did. It's well, I should have reversed again. I think I feel like I say this a lot. I could have reversed my trade. I wasn't thinking that way. I was just thinking that, you know, my short premise failed. Especially when you see, I guess I never really didn't share a screen with you guys at all today, but let's
pull it up. If you're just joining us, this Tesla trade that we're in is a very small size, just 25 shares. We're just testing a strategy here. Um, we'll see where it goes. All right, let's see. Peter. Where is
So here
he?
was my
There it is.
trade on the open at Nvidia, and you can see, I went short right off the open move. Right, got two partials. I tried to get a partial down here. This is the one I didn't get filled on for whatever reason. Way down in this wick, you can barely see it on that screen, but there was a wick way down here. And then it just unfortunately just kept coming back until it stopped me out of break even. But then when it was holding the VWAP, I said, this is like a Carlos style trade, right? Like there was a great long opportunity.
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking that way at the time, but this obviously would have been a long. As we can see, what happened thereafter, it never looked back. It sort of went long from there. And I could have got a much better move off of that, stop below here. Yeah, would have been decent. I mean, again, hindsight, but I just, it's one of those things where so far, despite having traded for years, I still don't think about the reversal play. It's just not the thing that my mind automatically goes to, and that's something I need to work on. There's
That's a
always
good point,
areas
man.
we can improve.
That's a good point. That's something that I should work on too. Because if you look at POTR, I knew it. Like the level 2 and everything started saying, "Hey, this is gonna drop. Get
Right.
out." And I got out, and immediately you could see the little pullback and then the drop. Right, just looked weak. So why not? If you feel that way, because the signals are turning, why not go short? Not, you got to be careful, but why not go short? Why not flip your position? QBT, same thing. Everything looked bearish on this, right? So why not flip your position? It's
Yeah.
a fine line. It's a very fine
Yeah.
line because you don't want to be every time you
And
stop out flipping your position. That's not what we're
exactly.
saying, you know.
Right. And I think that, Carlos, that probably comes from, I imagine you and I might have a similar experience, in early days when you trade and you do that, right? And you reverse your position and you just keep getting stop out after stop out. It
Yeah,
conditions you to say, well, I'm not going to reverse my position when I get stopped out. I'm just going to step back and let the thing
yeah.
work. So, we come
I
by it
got
honestly, but
on.
it is something where I admire Andrew. Like Andrew's able to say, you know what, my initial premise was wrong. It looks like a short or a long now, and he'll take the other side of it. And
Yeah,
he's sort of very dispassionate about it, and that's
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
that's admirable. Hey,
yeah.
Andrew, welcome. By the way,
Thank you so much. Sorry, I had some difficulty in the morning. I had a meeting with my bed in the morning that took a little bit long.
What's that song? There's a meeting in my bed. That's Andrew's anthem.
Yeah,
We gotta get the rights for
yeah,
that.
that's right. That's right.
There was a very meeting with the Chinese manufacturer of my bed so about the tariffs. But
Did
That's
you get to a
awesome.
resolution?
yeah, we decided to increase the sleeping time by 15%.
The sleeping tariffs were increased.
They said that's unacceptable. Okay, so no, seriously, yeah, I started late because I just couldn't wake up on time. But I did get a really nice 7 hours and 30 minutes sleep. That was really very
That's
nice.
good. Yeah.
I jumped in there late. I did 4 trades. So this is my open position that I have. So all of them profitable, actually. So, that's yet another proof that Andrew is can trade even in his sleep. I don't need to even wake up. I trade really well. So Marvel, CRCL, TQQ, and Tesla. And obviously the best one was TQQ because I got a better entry. It was on time. I still have 2,000 shares on this account. I still have on that account a little bit, and I had some covered calls of TQQ until Friday that they're going to be probably profitable. So I let it expire, depending on how the TQQ is going to work out. But the way that it works was we saw TQQ through this level pullback, suddenly huge squeeze. And that was, I think President is also talking right now about the conflict in Middle East. So I said, okay, maybe he said something good. This candlestick was really nice, very big candlestick. This is a really nice candlestick. So when long, partial, added more, and then boom, and I think we're going to get to 75 now. So that was my best trade. Tesla was also another one that really solidly did a very nice 5-minute open range breakup. I missed this whole rally, but I took a quick scalp on it through this, for this ABCD pattern popped up. CRCL, someone mentioned in the chat, again, a small pop-up. We got a small ABCD pattern on that. And same as Marvel. I think people are killing it in the chat room on Marvel. I didn't really get a big move on it, but it was profitable. How did you guys do it in the YouTube? I didn't really look at your trades.
Yeah, well, I had a I'm on mute. No, I'm not on mute. I had a trade at the open on Nvidia. Andrew, look at me becoming an open trader. So, and that was okay.
What did you do on NVIDIA?
Well, I went short right at the open, like in the first minute, and got that initial ride down until it came back to VWAP and stopped me out. So that's what we were just talking about the ability to reverse the trade, because it was a better long than it was a short, but I did get the short right off the open. So that worked out for me. And Carlos has had a couple of struggles here. It's things were not working out for him this morning so far. You out there, Carlos? You can talk about yours. He's not there. All right. Well, he tried to get PLTR long.
I was holding it.
Yeah, that's right. PLTR long, I think, stopped him out. He was trying a Tesla long. That had actually stopped him out as well. So, yeah, it was just not cooperating. The Rising Devil Master. Yeah, Footy. You know what? It's my trade. I was gonna joke, Andrew. When you came in, you say you can sleep, trade in your sleep. I'm like, I love your more than anything, it's your modesty that I like. But then I was thinking about it. I'm like, but you know what? Is it bragging if you're just telling the truth? I mean, you're not lying, so it's just stating facts.
Humility is one of my greatest strengths in life.
Superpower, is it?
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just joking. Of course, I'm joking. I'm the worst trader in the world. I don't know why people come watching me. I just lost $4 million in front of you in 2 trades. Like, how is still people come and pay $99 to watch me? I understand.
Because you've made it all back in other trades and more.
I'm just joking. People are actually joining us for the community, for all the resources that community is providing. All right, time to give something today, huh? Later.
Oh, yes, it's Wednesday. Yeah. Let's do it.
We want to give something to people.
And did you see Brian's latest video, by the way? We showed it here earlier on YouTube. He was trading off the cruise ship.
Oh, he did? Oh, I didn't get that.
Yeah. I don't know where I didn't see it either until Carlos put it up on the screen. So yeah, guys, I think we just shared it on YouTube. So we'll give you a reprise. He was sitting on the covered pool.
Really nice.
Well, there he is.
Ship and set up here, doing a little bit of trading in the open.
Oh, that's nice.
So hope everyone's having a great time, and we'll see you soon.
Nice. He couldn't find a table or something. He just wanted to look at the beautiful ladies
trading off the deck chair.
Yeah.
That sounds like Brian.
All right, so I still have TQQ, guys. Let's see if we get to 75. That was a really good trade. So Ariam, well, thanks you. So yeah, I'm gonna finish it hopefully by the end of this weekend. Yeah, I don't know why I'm not really finishing it. I'm not as super excited to publish my book as you guys are, which is pretty disappointing. But no, finishing it today. I will promise you.
Did you pick cover art? I know you were debating over all those
No,
designs.
I haven't finished it. So this there's a website called 99 Design that I can actually show it to you. So the way that it works is you have all of these designers that they give you this, and then you pick up the ones that you like, and then you select the finalist, and then the finalists finalize the design, and then based on that you go there. So it's like a competition. So I have 5 hours left to pick up some finalists, and then based on that I go there. But generally design, I decided to go with the trading for a living style. And like this one, for example, the color really doesn't work. You delete it. Like this is somehow is kind of a design that I like. Like this one is kind of nice. You can actually vote that too. You guys can help, but this is kind of nice too. Very simple. If the white is also nice, if you want to go with the white background here, this is absolutely, don't understand that. This is garbage. These are garbage. This one is kind of nice. And this is kind of
Seemed to like a
nice.
very similar style for all your books. You should go crazy. Go something just very
No,
unique.
because they are non-fiction books. Like if you're a fiction book, you can really have very interesting designs and artistic. But this one is more like textbook educational thing. You can't really go too crazy on that, and especially it has to look nice on Amazon as well. So people are buying on Amazon, so it has to look really nice on Amazon. If you go too artistic, like I don't know, it's like this one has really nothing that you want to be proud of or something like that. So like this one's not nice, for example. This is really not nice. This one is really not nice. Like this one has some artistic in there. Like I like this one, like for example, has some artistic in there.
Well, you go with what you like.
I go with what it sells. White was nice. This guy actually gave really nice. The first one was very nice. There was one white that was very nice. But I know with AI you can design like this one was nice. His head was kind of too big, but this is the black version of that one. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish this one. The book is ready by itself. Even the layout is ready. You finish this one, and then I publish with Amazon. And Amazon, you just upload the cover, upload the PDF, and then creates everything for you. So you don't need to really worry about anything else. Amazon is making it very easy to. All right, so you guys, you think I should go with white?
Well, it seems to be the popular opinion.
It looks kind of it doesn't look great on Amazon. Like for example, let's see. I had one book. Like this one. This is how it stands on Amazon. The white doesn't look bad, but the black usually more stand out more on Amazon white background. All right, so TQQ is popping up. Let's get some.
All right, what do we got going on here? Yeah, see, I'm glad I didn't try and short anything. We're just hovering around the highs here. Guys, like we've said several times, keep in mind, right? Big rate announcement today. Scheduled 2 o'clock is when the rate details go out. Again, everybody's anticipating, all the analysts are expecting no change in the rate. So if we do get a change again, it'll be very interesting, but again, not expected. And then the press conference starts half an hour later at 2:30. So that's all market time. So keep that in mind if you're trading, especially if you're looking at a trade or starting to get into one in the afternoon. Know that you're going to get that market reaction that we always get. So, and it's a weird one because again, it's happening in the afternoon, just a couple hours before the markets close for the day on Thursday, and then we'll be open again on Friday. So. Tesla just quieted right down, eh? It's stuck here, moving sideways. Andrew, what are you going to do with your day off tomorrow?
Thursday, huh? Well, definitely a sleeping in, catching up with sleep. That's for sure.
All right, it's a good start.
Well, What about you? What's your plan?
Well, I'm not sleeping in. I got the usual. So going to the gym first thing in the morning, probably go for a run after that. Then I've got a whole so-called honeydew list. I got a deck to paint, got to wash and clean my car.
All right, guys. So
So,
let's give some membership to people. Today, the decision.
all
So
right,
make
let's
sure you
go.
like the videos, subscribe. Let's go. Guys, remember, if you don't like or don't subscribe to our video channel, then you won't be in the list. So I think there's some people didn't like it, so they're not in the thing. So you have to like it, guys, to be in the draw. That's why they're, not everybody is in there. Boom.
And the winner is
And the winner is
Andy.
Candy Ambrogi.
Excellent.
Congratulations, Candy Ambrogi. Nice. So yeah, congratulations for 1 year membership.
Excellent. Look at that. 1 year membership. It's beautiful. She's here. There she is. See?
There you go. Congratulations.
Yeah. She's out there. All right. Beautifully done. Okay, guys, take it easy on your trading, right? Like we've been saying all morning. It's probably going to get quiet fast. The open, and we had a decent open. It wasn't easy, wasn't the easiest, but there were a few things that were moving. I know a few people, our members, were watching CRCL, which is actually still at the highs. Good move up. After it sort of pulled back, it really took off here. Reddit, I know a few people were watching. Another good move right off the open. Obviously, Andrew came in and was able to catch that move higher on the SPY or the Qs. The market index moved higher. So, yeah, good opportunity.
Yeah. All right. By the way, guys, I like to stay in touch with you guys with LinkedIn. If you are in LinkedIn, love to connect with you guys in LinkedIn. I posted my LinkedIn also page there. Love to connect with people. The X is really difficult. It's dying slowly. So I like to be in touch with members on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a more growing social media. It's a better content, less bots there. All right, CRCL was very nice. Really went up all the way up to 164. Unfortunately, I missed the move on it. Any question, guys, about the trades that we did so far on YouTube or in the chat?
All right, guys, we're just watching the markets here, biding our time.
So review my entry on TQQ. So let's review the entry on TQQ. Somebody mentioned that. Where is TQQ? Here. So TQQ, so what we saw here, let me bring the 5 minutes. The 5 minutes time frame is a really good time frame. You can have a strategic decision making on this. So what I saw here obviously sold off and then climbed back up very nicely for about 20 minutes. It did hit the VWAP, but quickly squeezed back up. And I said, okay, now potentially there's a potential for it to open to break out of this level that we had. Again, as you see here on a 5 minute, we had a really nice doji. So again, price action tells a lot here. So bounce back here. So one long I added more for the break of high of the day. So you need two time frame usually. I use 1 minute and 5 minute. 5 minute is more strategic decision making. So okay, what's happening on the price action, and then 1 minute is for tactical decision making, how to get a really good entry and exit. So that's the 5 minute situation that I saw, especially that really quick bounce from the VWAP. And then what we came here, we saw that really squeeze candlestick that happened here at 10:03, 10:02. So as you see, as soon as the candlestick closed, I said, okay, this is very strong. I went long, kind of gave it room somewhere above the VWAP, not necessarily all the way down to the VWAP. So it was 74.10, 74 was 7. I kind of gave it maybe 15 cents. As you see, it started popping up 15 cents. And I like that because, really heavy volume came in. I said, okay, I'm going to add more to that. And as you see, it's going to go up. So I like to get to 75. And I think most likely it's going to get to 75 as well. But CRCL was the trade of the day that I kind of missed. Look at that, how it's really. Look at that beauty.
Look at that beauty.
Look at that.
It is moving. 166 now. My goodness. This thing,
Wow.
ever since its IPO, it has been moving with good volume too.
So Dora is asking, what's your idea about oil-based ETF or gold, especially in high volatility? You can trade them, especially futures trader. They trade futures a lot, gold and futures. They were pretty nice. I just don't get to trade. I think it's what I'm doing is pretty good for me. I don't want to really diversify my trading too much. But in days like this, like gold is pretty good. Like I know Thor trading futures and stuff. Vanessa trades futures and stuff. So these are really good time. Like these geopolitical tensions are really good for oil and gold. And there are contracts for that on micro futures, but we never really traded stocks related to that. And again, remember, as a trader, you don't need to have everything and be everywhere and super diverse about all the stuff. So it's very important to just have consistency. It's not that I'm not saying that stop learning, but it's very important to be finding your niche and try to improve in your niche. It's like professional athletes. Like professional athletes, like Cristiano Ronaldo is not the best athlete in all the fields. He's a very fit athlete, but he's a master and expert in one field. So Gabriel is asking, I don't quit your job for trading, but I have a classic issue because I can't trade at the open because of my current job. Then don't trade at the open. Like don't try to fit trading in your life. Try to match your life with trading, or other way around. I don't know. But the goal is here, don't push it, because if you quit your job to trade at the open, how do you want to handle the first 2 years? It's difficult. Try to learn from people like Peter that trade at the close. So try to swing trading or options trading, in a way that it doesn't impact you. Wow, CRCL, look at that. Circle Internet. Why am I not
Thing
here?
is a beast. It's a beast.
I know. What is this company doing, CRCL?
That's a good question. New IPO. They were it was I think is this the Trump backed internet? No, it's a stable coin. I don't remember what the heck they do. So
Yeah, it is a stable global platform for global still. So because I think the Senate passed the stable coin, some sort of a legislation on that. So it's gonna be super. Wow. 7, 8 billion. What a valuation. It's California based, probably Silicon Valley based. Oh, New York City, actually. Oh, nice. Smith, that's a really nice picture of you. Look at that. Look at that amazing member that we had. Look at that. Smith, really great. We're creating a trader.
Look at that. All right. Wow. A lot of monitors. Big setup. Okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
Cool.
Setup, actually. Very nice.
All right. AMD. Oh, AMD got the pullback from the highs. Tough trade there. All right. I'm still looking for opportunities. Looks like the SPY has topped momentarily.
Circles just keeps going up. Since the recent IPO, huh? Like they IPO'd in the best time. Triple the size. Like IPO'd at 60, now trading at 167. It's 300%.
Yeah, you're very happy if you were in early on that IPO. Haven't been a lot of good ones recently, so it's actually good to see. It's good for the market. Wow, good pullback on AMD. Fortunately, just not quite the topping setup I needed to get into this. Otherwise, it looks so good. Oh, well.
All right, guys. So
Yeah.
we are going to do nothing. I'm going to do
You're going to do nothing.
I'm going to do nothing. So I'm going to hold in this TQQ, see if it's going to get to 75. So again, trading was pretty good. So 23,000 here, seeing TQQ holding the situation here. Bonds are doing pretty good. Bonds bounce back very nicely.
Yeah.
So holding here, we'll see how it goes. And tomorrow, guys, have fun. Take the time off from the market, relax, and we'll see how it goes. So YouTube, Thor is coming, one of our really best good traders. He's a really good presenter and educator as well. It's going to come about his trading style. In the chat room, Gary and Paris are coming. Price action and open flow traders. Abby's doing the options trading webinar for elite members. And that is it. MashaAllah. Thank you, man. No, I'll be in New York City in July 3rd. So not that. Next week I'm also here. All right, guys. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks, take care, everybody.
For covering the open. Appreciate that.
My pleasure.
All right.
All right, boss. Take care, everybody. Thor should be on right about now.
He's ready.
Now? There he is. Look at that. Beauty. Carlos, I think we need sound. We got no sound.
Thor, you might be
There he
muted,
is.
brother. Check.
I got it. It was me,
There.
not you. It was me. You should be able to hear me now. So I'm getting into YouTube here real quick. Give me 1 second so I can make sure I can see everybody's messages. So give me 1 second and I will get that up. Chris MC, that is both funny and not funny at the same time, by the way. I did get in logged in enough time to see that hypocrisy. I'm almost ready. Sorry, I actually was downstairs hanging out with my daughter and chatting with her therapist about her plan for the day and all of that stuff. And then in the process of that, I actually lost track of time. So there we go. Yeah, I love you too, man. There we go. Hey, Benjamin, how are you, buddy? All right, I think I'm up and running. I think I'm good to go. So trades, let's go ahead and take a look at things. So first thing is, should be able to see my screen, which you can. Let me bring this up here so I can see what you guys are seeing. Okay, cool. So today we had a nice call out on the pivot system today, and that call out was for a R3 short on gold today. So I went ahead and went short on gold right at the open because we squeezed up kind of with a, let me get a little tighter on this candle. We squeezed up very, very aggressively, good buying, and then immediately hit selling right off of that. So we were in the right spot. So I went ahead and hit the short there. Had a really nice movement to the downside, and I held that all the way through for a cover at S3, which also happened to be a little over a 4-to-1 profit target for me. So really nice trade here to start my day. So not all good things. I ended up getting into PLTR for a classic R3 short, which is something that I do quite a bit. I decided to cut this bad boy because it was just taking forever. I actually do think I'm right on this one. Not that that matters, but at this point, I have kind of an if it goes rule. And it's just been so stagnant for such a long time. I just decided to get out of this one. So the one I'm in now that I'm really liking, because I really wanted to get in one more trade since my first trade was a winner, is actually Amazon. So Amazon has been rallying quite well all day and got up to R6 from inside the range. So on this range, an R6 reversal is possible. So having it do a really hard sell there and then re-offer R6 a few times, I went ahead and hit it short here for a movement back into range. This is my 4-to-1 target here that I'm ideally going for. If it comes back up and reclaims this high, I'll go ahead and get out of it because this isn't technically a standard, play for me, but I really like this overall idea and the area, and I liked the VPA especially. So this one feels like a really good trade for me. So I'm going to hang on to this one and just see if this works out. So got a nice RS4 reversal on NVIDIA. Very nice, Benjamin. Very good. Nathan, good to see you, brother. How are you doing, my friend? Really fun trading with this morning. I'm going to have Nathan back on here maybe later in the week, maybe Thursday or Friday if you guys want, and we can talk more about SpotGam. I thought that was a lot of fun. How is everybody else's day today in YouTube? How is your guys' trading day? Now, I just use the data set that fits my rules, right? More Bookmap. We want Bookmap. So for me, with the calculation method I use, all right, I'm using regular trading hours data, right? And I'm utilizing that in order to, I'm using regular trading hours data, right, for my high and low calculations. If we go outside of that, then I'll use the extended data. But since we haven't, it's the RTH. So it doesn't technically fit the rules for the R6. So TV wouldn't have called it. TV only calls things that exactly fit the system to the T. So in this instance, because of the range width and where we opened, so one of the things I do is I like to trade. When I have a really good winner for my first trade, I like to try and get in at least one more trade to see if I can make something work really nice. You know what I mean? So in this instance, I was really feeling this particular trade because again, it was really VPA is really what hit me. So let me walk you through the VPA on this, and then let's look at Apple too, real quick. Apple still looks very strong. And it's in a lower, wider range though, so I do think it could be a short. Oh, never mind. I wasn't in the right spot. Oh, yeah, that looks great. I would prefer this short to be from R3, but look at the VPA on this. Good solid sell. We then pulled back and struggled, and now we're selling. This looks really nice. Cool. Let's go. All right, so this is really going to help my Amazon position quite a bit, right? Now I'm using Thor mode on my cams. If the price in the extended hours gets out, so no, so you have, let me draw. I do so much better with drawing. One second. Sorry, I'm drawing. Sorry, I can't draw and talk at the same time. It's like chewing gum. All right. All right. So Thor mode is coming. That's what I'm doing. So you can see here, look. So we have what is called the regular trading hours. The regular trading hours is from 9:30 to 4 o'clock, right? So our regular trading hours creates over here, yoink, our regular trading session creates a high of day and a low of day, right? That is our RTH high of day and low of day, right? We also get an extended or an ETH high and low as well. Right now, that may sometimes the ETH high and low is the same size or smaller than the RTH high and low. It's not always bigger, right? I'm just using this as an example. So we get two different highs and lows that are created from the time frames, right? One of them is the time frame for here. One is for here. Camarilla pivots are calculated off of the high, the low, and the close. Right? So whenever we shift time frames, we're shifting this, right? The entire calculation. This is why I have my own very specific cam calculation, right? That I utilize, right? So which is different than basically anybody else's. I've gone through and messed around with all the individual time frames to line the lines up to where I think value and participation areas are most likely to occur, right? So if we have ETH and RTH, right? So if we have a different high and a low and a close versus here versus there, we get entirely different CAMS calculations, right? So what we're focusing on here in this instance, right, is if we're in the pre-market, so let's say this is the next day, doink, 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 doink. Let's say this is the next day, right? And let's say we've opened at 0 hours the next day, right? And let's say this is the ETH high and low from the previous day, and this is the RTH high and low, right? ETH, RTH. Sorry, I'm doing my best. ETH, RTH, right? So we open, and when we open here, right? And so we start to move around because we closed here, right? So when we opened like right here, and we came down, and we moved up, and we came down in the pre-market, right? So I'm drawing. You should be able to see that, right? So you can see that we have not gone outside the RTH high and low, right? And because we haven't gone outside the RTH high and low, we're going to calculate our CAMs off of the RTH time frame. If we go down and make a low and our pre-market low goes below RTH low, then that immediately changes and we start using this time frame. Right? So if that happens to be bigger or smaller, right, as soon as we, which it will be bigger in most instances, once we go outside of that RTH range, we use the ETH range, right? So DOS, this is what makes DOS, Benjamin, a little bit less than desirable when it comes to this particular attribute, because you have to actually look at the 2-day pivot relationship, right? And you have to decide, is it a higher range or a lower range? Then you have to look at is it a wider range or a narrow range? Is it a higher range or is it a lower range, right? And then you can decide based upon, and then have you gone outside the RTH time frame? So which cam should you be using? One of the reasons why we're using TV is because our guy Bruz, who's answering questions in here, thank you, by the way, Bruz, sir, we have actually coded that switching in, right? So it already looks back and gives you the appropriate cams to be utilizing, right, for that particular day. So you can see here on DOS, I actually overlay both cam sets. So, and then I just watched it, and I more or less use them as a range, but watch to see which one responds. So I'm short here. My original stop was above 218, right? That's why my target is below 216. But now that we've retested and went into trend, there's no reason to hold this for a stop. So I went ahead and moved it to break even. If I can get this market to sell, we'll have a real good time. So now we are going to just let this thing sell on down. So everyone, just a reminder, it's time. It's 11:15. So it's always important to just do a little bit of a reminder here. We all have a job to do. Mine's to provide you as high quality content as I possibly can. Yours is to smash the like button and make sure you are sharing this show, talking to your friends. Make sure you're sharing this around the trading community. I'd really like to grow this channel a little bit during this time frame. One thing I've noticed is generically starting right at 9:30 or 9:35, I'm sure most people are getting to their they're getting to their real jobs, but we kind of start to trend down. But there's trading going on all day. There's people out there all day, and I want to keep us in here and doing our thing, right? Because if we can keep the traffic up here, then I get to stay out here. You know what I mean? If the traffic doesn't stay out and we don't do that, then then we go back behind the paywall, and I'm really enjoying hanging out with y'all every day. This is you know, I'm enjoying this segment surprisingly more than I thought I was going to. Oh, that was a true story. Okay. Piyush, if you go to the web page for the indicator, you will actually see a chart that's in there that actually breaks down all of that stuff, which is pretty cool. So I appreciate y'all too. And I'm working on getting some you know, like I said, some high quality people and stuff. So let me show you on QQQ. So this is the calculation on QQQ that I had in place. So today we had a wider lower range. So the place we were expecting to find our sell was at R3. And you can see we rallied up. Now, there is one issue, right? Anyone who follows my system, you're going to know one thing I don't like about the price action on this right off the get. Anybody following my system, can you illuminate into the room? What don't I like about the initial movement here for a short later? What do y'all think? I always forget how long the delay is on this thing. It's really silly, but you guys are going to recognize this. It's actually, it swept liquidity first, right? Opening position and initial directional movement is a massive indicator on what we're going to be doing. You know what I mean? Having this immediately sell down and find a buyer before going to the seller means they you know what I mean? They went and grabbed liquidity first, right? They warehoused before they went to distribute. And this inherently has some strength. So you're talking about Bruzz's, the HEs and the HAs. So what we're talking about is this particular diagram here. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, you can get this off the indicator site, right? This particular diagram, when we have the plays put in H versus L, right? We're telling you it's a higher range versus a lower range and which plays we're targeting based upon that, right? So for instance, in a lower range, we prefer to target R3 for the pullback, right? So, but look what we want in order for that to happen. We want a directional move to R3 for a sweep of the sell side, buy side liquidity, sell side inventory, right? For a movement back across the range to the outside on the other direction, right? So having this dip first makes it look a lot like this play, right? Which it's not though, because we're not in the right spot. We're not in a higher, wider range, right? So we don't want this play, but it looks like that. Right. So innately, even right off the beginning, as soon as we saw this drop and came back up, we didn't really love it. Now, what else about this increase doesn't look like it was necessarily going to be a good sell? We actually had really strong buying volume. When we bought up into this level, it was really good, but the level works. Really good sell, and then just squeezed up and stopped out. Right. But now that we've come up here, we've gotten to R4. Now, the problem with shorting at R4, right? We have a problem with shorting at R4, which is on a lower, wider range. We don't short R4. Why? Choppy. This is a kill zone, right? This is a kill zone, right? Very, very difficult to chop this once you're on a wider lower range. When you get into this, let me do a hold on. Let me get a bigger time frame. You'll see why. Hold on. Right here, look. Y'all see what I'm talking about? Right? We're now above this area right here where we sold. You know, it's a floor, right? An old discount, new premium. We've bought through that. Right? So we're going to find an inherent amount of support that's going to come from right here because that lines up where we've already bought before. Right? So now we're going to be going short, and we're going to be going short right into an area where we buy a lot. So that's why we want this to be at R3, right? If it's at R3, look what would have happened, right? R3 is a pullback right to the underneath, right? So if we pulled back to that, offered that area, and then started selling, that would be a nice place for a continuation to the downside, right? But that doesn't give us that, right? We broke that, we went through it, right? So we don't want to use that, right? But now see, if we come back now, the target for a drop here will be a movement all the way back down across the range. So it's a wide range. We expect to close in the mid value area. So this could still be a really nice movement. It's just going to be really hard to time, and it's very likely it'll just close choppy. But we'll see what happens on it. How's Amazon? I haven't looked at Amazon for a while. Is it still working? Kind of. Kind of. Okay. John, I'm here every single day from 11 to 12, my friend. So if you see something that is a little bit outside for you, or you want me to explain, my friend, that is why I am here. So any questions you have specifically, just throw them into the chat. I will do my best to catch the questions. I do have a little bit of an ADHD thing. So if I happen to not see it, it's because I was so hyper-focused on the presentation, I just missed it. So just don't be afraid to spam me as long as it's good spamming, right? I don't need trolling. That can be fun at times, but oh, there was a book question. All of the DOS settings for trading my cams are in the book. TV, you don't need that. In TV, you just go download the indicator. So you don't need the settings for it, right? But you would still need the book. I'm glad to hear that. Make sure to let, not for nothing, not trying to get stuff, but if y'all really like this, make sure you reach out and let Andrew know. Make sure you really, let him know that you're enjoying the new segment, or just make sure you keep liking and sharing. If we see the numbers, we'll know you like it. You know what I mean? But I'll take whatever you want. Ooh, that was a really nice offer of the poor man's trend line here. How does one obtain a beautiful dome like thee? Well, so this is a serious question, and it needs to be properly handled. Okay. The first thing you have to do is you have to be tricked by Jared into believing that this is going to improve your trading and make you better. You see, he said that if I shaved my head, that it was like a heat sink, right? It would just let the heat out like a computer processor, right? And that would make me smarter, and then I would be able to do that. So I shaved that to let the heat out. Then I started to let it grow back, and then Rafzilla over in Bearable Traders told me that BBT actually stood for Bald Brothers Trading. Right. And then I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense now. Right. So again, back to the clean look, right? Because now that I realize that, this is actually, Peter, Raf, Peter's still trying to hold on to some. One of these days he'll just give up. Peter, Raf, it's Ball Brothers Trading in here. It's only outbalanced by Andrew, Avi, right, and Paris. Like, I don't know and Megan, obviously, but I don't know what's going on with these guys. Like the lush, like every one of them, Elvis hair. It's like yin and yang. You know what I mean? Anyway, bro, yeah, Brian, I have to leave Brian out because Brian is too cool. You can't be the prophet of profit and be included in on this. So, all right, let's go Amazon. Let's look at Amazon's order book. How bearish does this thing look right now? Yeah, we definitely look like we're selling now. So you see how we absorbed up, ran into this, block here. And then since we've got there, we've been selling pretty actively. Big red dots moving down the price. Big red dots moving down the price. Amazon's looking great right now. Look how we stalled right in front of this big 218 order. It was so pretty. So that's what I saw. I saw us just wicking and selling off of it and wicking and selling and wicking and selling and wicking and selling. I was like, all right, we're done. Let's go. Ooh, Professor X. Yes. Just call me Xavier. See, like that's cool. Professor X is dope. All right, real quick. Interaction concept. I'm so sorry for everyone who came here for like intelligent stock trading. If you had a superpower, what would it be? So I can already tell you mine. I'll tell you mine after. But before here, if you had a superpower, what would your superpower be? I already know what mine is. Oh, Francis and I are probably going to have a very similar one, I have a feeling. Mine's very specific. Ooh, Samir. So Samir's superpower is basically ultra high metabolism. Valerie's is fun. Teleporting is good. Oh, Robert, score. Dude, so we keep on going. We're gonna have ourselves a nice little like TV indicators, Chew. You just go into TV. They're public. Just type them in. You just type them in. To turn water into cheese. That's a cool one. Huh. All right, so here's mine. And it actually is a stock-related time travel superpower. Are you ready? It would be the ability to go back, but only 1 minute into the past at any moment in time. Like anything that happens, I could just go back a minute. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm shot. Boom, 1 minute. Or, okay, so we're gonna end up at 2:16:40 in the next, in the next minute, short everything, just knowing where it's gonna be. Right? I'd be like ultimate money, and you just do it in like very, very short moves. Right? I'd be like the ultimate scalper. But yeah, so all of the look at this response to R4, by the way, and on this range on Amazon. That is so typical. So I would be like a little scalping algo. But yeah, the book does cover all the DOS settings and all of the varied strategy sets. S4 reversal on Nvidia today? Let me look. For me, we are in a lower narrow range, so S4 would have been the place to take a reversal. So you got the right play. I mean, you picked the right one for what you did. So I wouldn't say lucky. Yep, they are available in toss as well, although not as quite as cleanly done. We're going once I get the TV ones done, we're gonna work with my team and we're gonna go back and fix the toss ones to make them match perfectly. So just go up to indicators and type Camarilla pivot plays. Do I think Nvidia has some steam left? No, probably not. The NQ looks like it's dead in the water. So the NQ looks like it's about to sell off like crazy. Watch this, everybody. The NQ looks like it's about like if it doesn't buy like right now, this thing's gonna eat a whole bunch of orders to the downside. Let's see here. Let's see what it does. All right, so we'll see right here. So notice to the top side on our order book, look how lean the order book is to the top side. It's just almost completely empty. Like as far as orders go, it just looks like it has zero desire to go up whatsoever. So for like me, if I was thinking about going for a long, this is the exact opposite book I'd want for a long. So unless something dramatically changes on the book right now, it looks like they're gonna drop this thing. It's a very bearish order book. They have an iceberg order at 22,055. If they squeeze, that's where they will go to. And then they will drop further after that. Oh, but if they squeeze and hit 22,055 and they tear another order, then you could get a short squeeze. So you have to be careful. This book is so lean that it would take very little volume to rocket back up into it. So you have to be really careful not to get, this is how like UTADs can happen. Look at that. Look at them tear it in. You see that? There it went. See how they did that? Turkeys. It still looks really bearish, but now look, they put in the shorter term orders here. See how they brought all those in? That's an algorithm. Doink, 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 doink. Loads them all in there. Sound effects. Ah. So it just really doesn't look like they're going to go very far. I would be shocked if they squeezed up here. But what happened is we had a bunch of buying. So if people are willing to buy, but even with all that buying, the price really didn't advance hardly at all. But somebody started buying this weak book. So if they want to buy, the specialists will be more than, or the algorithm in this instance will be more than happy to offload premium into them. So as long as this is the one thing you have to understand. You can never anticipate when the market's going to buy, right? This is somebody buying, right? But when they bought, the algorithm offloaded into them. So the response to that buying by the algorithm was to absorb and actually in this instance to distribute right into that order. So it doesn't look strong by any means, that big buying. But if people want to buy, they're going to let them buy. I mean, it's not going to stop them if they want to raise the price. Why not? So this is why it's not just about positioning. You actually need to see the market selling. So LA. Do you also watch weekly and monthly? I watch monthly pivots, Dalton. I like the monthly pivots, not the weeklies. At just some point, there's just too many lines. At which Bruz already got. Thank you. Brilliant. Again, look at the absorption. Ooh-wee. We had a little bit of a market structure shift there on NQ, and then we fell again. So you can see here we created a fair value gap here to the downside, and we offered it and sold away from it very nicely. So so far we have not managed to go back inside there. We did buy up and buy premium here, which shifted structure a bit, but our response was immediate selling and on fairly high volume. So we will see. Still in a selling range on Qs. So, I mean, it's definitely would be better to sell than to try and be long. Look at NVIDIA still going. I think this is the reason why Qs hasn't sold off more. NVIDIA has been pretty strong today. Very bullish order book at the open, right? Brought on this buyer here, which they came down and got, and then they've been buying off of them ever since. Here's Tesla for you. Coming, Raymond. Coming at you. So Dalton, what'll happen with Thor mode is you will be able to go in on the new version. Right now, I'm on a development edition, which I think I just accidentally removed. Son of a Why do I do that sometimes? Hold on. Doink. Get them back. All right. Maybe, maybe not. There we go. And then what'll happen is you'll go to pivot plays and you'll go to, am I gonna have to reset my stinking, oh well, whatever. Oh, I'm just doing it all wrong right now. Sorry. You go up to here and you hit I keep hitting the trash can instead of settings for some reason today. Go to options preset and you will just go to Thor. And once you're there, boom, you will just have my version. So you can see, for instance, on M and Q, right? Right near R4 and then fade it off of it. Wow. Look at coin go, huh? Is that on the is the coin thing on the US Bitcoin situation? But yeah, so Dalton, sorry. So yeah, so it's just going to be a check box that you click, the Thor mode. So anytime I change my settings, I will let Bruz know that I've changed my settings, and then Bruz will update my settings in Thor mode, right? And then you will get a little, when you go to look at the different indicators, you'll have a little like spinning box, a little like reload symbol that's purple over here that'll tell you that there's a new version out. So all you'll have to do is go in there, click update to the new version, switch it to Thor mode, and then you'll be up and running. It's not different than the CAM formulas in the book. It is the CAM formulas from the book with my time frames applied to them. But everything formula-wise is all exactly the same. The only thing that's different is I have my own way of defining open, low, high, and close. So my calculations go off of my open, low, high, and close concepts. And that's where all the pivot traders basically differ, right? No matter which one you go to, everyone has a little, no paid version. It's still just free. I'm never going to charge you guys for any of that stuff. That's not why we're here. I will make a small request if you should be so inclined, right? Thumbs ups and shares, right? Move me forward. Number two, our guy Bruz here, right? Between him and I, we've got hundreds of hours worth of work into these cams and into the TV system. So there is a link on the TV indicator where it says buy me a coffee, and that's for Bruz. If you happen to download them, use them, make some money off of them, and you really like them and you want to support Bruz directly, not affiliated with BBT in this instance or anything else like that, it's just coffee for the guy. If you want to do that, go ahead. But otherwise, we're going to keep doing what we do regardless of that. So the idea is, I have a system here that I want you to be able to utilize, and I want to be able to get it out there. But yeah, Leo, no Thor mode right now. Thor mode is in development, and it should be out soon, right? So I will let you know first thing I come on the day on YouTube, on the day it's out. I will come in and say Thor mode is upon us, and there will be much rejoicing. Yay. Right? So let's see, how's Amazon doing? Ugh, not doing anything. Waiting for Nvidia to stop going up. Auto 3D squared auto for equities. The ETH RTH switch is good. I like to force the ETH close for the I like to force the RTH close for the calculation, right? But the switching is very important. If you don't switch, then on days you have RTH cams or RTH cams and there's a big stock movement, you won't even have cams that day. No. So Chithana, does that work? Chithana? Do I do the H? Um, I don't what I do is my personal way of doing it. But it's not proprietary. For the record, like the indicator that Bruz and I are putting out it's literally a public indicator. You could go in and Chaithana. Thank you. It's a public indicator, right? So you can literally go in and you could grab the source code right out of it and you would have it, right? So this is based upon my system and my the way I do it, because I kind of, the assumption being is since I have the methodology that works, I really don't care if anybody down the pipe from me utilizes it, and goes the other direction, right? So now that being said, my calculation timeframes are basically an attempt to replicate what DOS does in certain ways and what TOS does in others, right? So I have different timeframes for futures and for equities that I like to use, but I modify the futures timeframes more specifically to line them up with the equities, right? So if you don't do it quite the way I do it, then you have a deviation between your equities locations and your futures locations, which for me kind of just gets it a little bit out of sort. So what I'm trying to do basically is mirroring the RTH ETH calculations that you'll see here. So you can see now DOS stops calculating at 1945. I stop calculating at midnight, right? So I start calculating at 0, even though they start calculating at 4, right? So that's why there's a difference there, right? But my RTH is calculated the same way, but my ETH is calculated differently. And I force the RTH close for my high and low calculations. So no matter whether I'm in ETH or RTH, I always use the RTH's close, right? It's very complicated, right? You know what I mean? If I could properly explain to you the amount of effort that I have with my team, going through all the various little permutations. Oh yeah, let's go Amazon. All the various permutations on how this whole system comes in and myself going through chart after chart after chart. This time frame doesn't line up. This time frame doesn't line up. Which one lines and they don't, and some of them line up all the time, right? This is the really hard part. All of these time frames work, right? You can use any of the calculations you want. And as long as you follow my rule structure with them, you'll probably make money, right? What I'm trying to do is give you like the golden calculation. You know what I mean? Like the best calculation of all the calculations ever to have the calculations, right? So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and move my NQ down now as well. So I got short on NQ like we were talking about in the beginning when we saw it topping near R4. So I did get short in NQ and I'm holding that now. I don't have a target on. I'm just running a stop. But since we've sold away, I'm going to go ahead and I was at break even. I'm going to go ahead and move my stop. If we come back off of this sell side liquidity, so if we buy off of here and we come all the way back up and run that high, I'm going to get out of this one. So if we keep buying up like we are and do that, I just don't want to stay in this one anymore. So I'll take the money off of it. So I'm in from 22,080 and a quarter. So just off the high of day, when we came back, big sell here, pulled back. So see what happens. I'm also being delicate here too, recognizing that this is a lower, wider range, and shorting at R4 is not ideal. Very, very choppy when you short at R4. So at this point, like I said, if it squeezes back up, I'll just take the money it gives me and call this one done. I am still holding Amazon. So we're getting there, people. So one of the things, as we're kind of like getting into the last quarter of our segment, I think it's really, really important as we work together. And I know I'm not going to resonate with a lot of people because of this. I need you to understand to make sure that you understand when you come to me that I am more of what's called, I'm more of an intraday trader, or what's actually just a day trader. Right. So a lot of people have started to really confuse the concept of day trading with the concept of scalping. Right. You can scalp for a living and make money scalping. Most guru traders are scalpers. Right. So so what is a scalp? A scalp is any position that you take where you are looking to make profit within a very small margin of the day's ATR. Right. If you're going short, and you're planning on, if you go short here and you're planning on being to profit by the time you get down to this first moving average, you are scalping, right? That's a day trader really is trying to get a majority of the day's ATR movement. You're trying to buy low and sell high, and sell high and buy low. You know what I mean? So this is but it's a very large mental shift between the two, right? Scalping, very, very effective. But notice how many pullbacks I've held through in order to get to my position, right? Day trading and range trading is very, very uncomfortable if you think like a scalper, right? So you have to really change your methodology, and that's one of the things we're going to work a lot in this segment, right? Is to if you're interested in longer term holds, the way you're going to have to do that is actually by modifying the way you think about price movement, right? Since I'm just looking to sell the high, my assumption here is I have the best price of the day right now on the sell side. Very unlikely it's going to buy up through from where I'm in right now. So for me, the thought of exiting, even if it rallies, really doesn't work for me, right? Because I'm in a position and I think I have basically high of day. So any profit other than my target right now just kind of seems like a bad idea, even knowing that there's a chance we could rally here and come all the way back through my break even. But, these are those decisions we kind of got, like I said, it can be very uncomfortable holding longer term holds, because you're constantly going to be, well, what if we buy off here? What if? All these what ifs are constantly going to run through your brain. So much shout out to my guy. He's hanging on the wall over there. Signature Kevin Hart. One of his favorite lines from one of his comedies that I like is getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that is stock trading, right? You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. So make sure you're paying attention to when you're trading, right? Like if you were long at R4 at this break on the back test, really solid, hold up there. But notice we came back through and failed. So this really doesn't look like it's doing a very good job of trending up. But look how beautifully this thing is trending down now, right? So the one thing I really feel good about, especially look at this large sell that happened earlier as well, and then we squeezed up on relatively low volume. I really think I've got the position on this one. So I just don't want to get rid of this thing too early, and not get this target, because if I can hit this, if I hit this lovely target today, right, and hopefully this doesn't squeeze up and take me out first as well, because if this sells down more, I would love to get to somewhere around VWAP or back to the open price on NQ. But at this point, I don't want to, I'm quite positive on the day. So I just don't want to start giving money back. So I use very few moving averages, actually. This one here is my I have these two fun averages. Actually, these aren't the right ones that I normally use. Hold on, let me change them. I normally use my favorites are the 27 and the 50. I was goofing around with these earlier. 27 and the 50. There you go. Look at these beauties. So the 50 SMA is what we call the poor man's trend line, right? So you really, if you're ever uptrending on the 1 minute, you really should never lose the 50 SMA. Even look at this big wick here. Look how it came right back to the 50. right? So the 50 SMA is just always awesome. And then a little don't tell anybody. It's a little insider secret. This is actually this moving average comes from one of my Citadel buddies. You're welcome. So this is the 27 EMA. And if you and on Amazon, look at the precision on this thing. Look at the wicks. Look at the loss. And then as we loft it, look at the reoffer now on the way back up. It's a gold mine of a moving average. It's so easy to use. 27 EMA. So the two EMAs that or SMA and an EMA, 50 SMA for overall trend. As long as I'm under it, I feel comfortable staying short. To get in, I time at the loss of the 27, basically. So you can see we hit the 27, pulled back, and then broke it. So I went ahead and shorted on this pullback, right? So it was also a new longer time frame, new 5-minute low there as well. You won't hear about this one a lot. This is just I'm a very blessed individual. Thanks to having access. I've been to the NYSE like better part of a half a dozen times at this point. And I've got some buddies there and stuff, and some cool people I get to hang out with. So but mostly thanks to Andrew's generosity, which I think he's going to be on the NYSE in July. I think he said something about getting to ring a bell or something like that. I mean, how cool will that be? But yeah, so 27, that's just a little market maker, a little specialist secret there for you, coming from a specialist near you, if you live in New York. Regarding the CAM calculation, considering that the more participants, the better, is it not best to use most people's calculation versus having your own calculation? So Benjamin, kind of. So what I'm doing is I am using the calculation that I understand the major market makers are using, right? So when I say major market maker, what do I mean? Let me show you this. Let me get chat up. Break down market maker activity on the stock and future on the stock market by influence. All right. Name which market makers have the largest interaction with the market. All right, come on. Here we go. So my good buddy is a and some of the people that I know happens to maybe work for them. Right. So one of the things I'm doing with my Camarilla equation is I am trying to emulate what I understand Citadel's algorithm is using. Since Citadel does approximately 25% of all equity volume, there's a pretty good chance that if there's volume coming in on the ticker, which is one of the reasons why I'm looking for volume, that they are involved. And if they are involved, then there's a pretty good chance the algorithm is going to respond according to that concept, right? So my major works, right, is based upon an intense study of the SPY and QQQ and other related assets, Mag 7 and otherwise, and compared them against the largest market makers algorithms, right? So after that we have Virtue Financing, right? Jane Street, Two Sigma Securities, IMC, right? We've got all these different large influencing firms, but there's only one of them that you will see as named as having a large amount of, approximately 1/4 of all equity volume, right, is coming across that one particular market maker, right? So that's why I'm focusing specifically on the CAM equation that I think responds the most directly under the conditions I'm looking for, right? Which is high volume, high liquidity, futures and equities / ETF movements, right? Oh man, let's see if we can get this fill before this day. What I really love is even with NVIDIA driving, my Amazon is still working beautifully. We're at a really high value area here. Someone bought, consolidated, and then we bought. So we're trying to liquidate back through this level here. But if we do, this should be enough to drive me through 216 and get me to my fill. We got 4 minutes, Amazon. Let's do it for these people. Come on now. I use multiple brokers. Interactive Brokers is my primary broker that I use for trading equities. I also do trade futures through them. And then I use Tradeovit, is my which is provided through a funded trading entity, is what I'm using through TV. And I actually use 4 different funding traded accounts at the same time via a trade copier. Yep. Like my trade I was in on the future was in TradingView. My pleasure. Oh, okay, Mark. Thank you. No, Bookmap doesn't exchange. So it has this is DX feed for Bookmap. So it is on a route. This is DX feed. So for instance, mine's through Thinkorswim. So if you have Thinkorswim, you can get Bookmap for like $40 a month. As a part of Thinkorswim. If you want it individually, then you get a data subscription with it, like Global Plus or something like that. Yeah, Tesla. And then we'll call it a day, I think. Yeah, coin's ripping right now because of the US the stable coin concepts and stuff. All right, so for me, Tesla does look like it's starting to sell from here. So don't get me wrong, I do actually think it looks volume-wise like it's probably a short, but I wouldn't play it here at all. I hate this range for a play. It would need to be higher for me to feel comfortable shorting or be lower for me to comfortable buying. This feels like a kill zone for me. But it did look at those selling though. I mean, it really looks like a sell. So, I mean, you got to combine those things. We ran up here and we just ripped away. But I just feel like as soon as I get in a short on this thing, it's going to squeeze right up and knock me out. But I like it otherwise. Okay, come on. Come on. Let's go. You can do it. Go blast that level. Come on. Let's do this. We're already under it. Hands off. This is the hard part. Look at this. We're like 5 cents away from my stinking stop and watch it bounce. This happens all the time. It's ridiculous. I hate it because we're right at 216, right? So I'm just on the other side of a block, basically, right? So it's always such a pain in the butt to have to hold when they bounce like that, but it's okay. Don't stress out about it. Just hold. Again, my thought is I've got the best price of the day, right? It's a different mentality, right? Imagine buying a house and buying your house for dirt cheap and then someone coming out and offering market value. You're like, no way, man. This thing was dirt cheap. I'll hold, right? You can't get me out of here. Right. Thank you. Birdland Jazz, New York, baby. Look at the wick. Look how close we are. Boom. There we go, people. Likes for fills, right? So I hope we had a fun session here. We managed to get a really good a fill for you too to close out the segment. Always fun. See the hold. Look at that. The only thing I could have done wrong with this trade would have been to touch it. You know what I mean? That would have been the only way I could have messed this trade up, would have been to have gotten in its way. So I hope everyone had a great segment today. I hope you're enjoying talking about all these different facets of trading. Please come tomorrow, bring some questions. Always fun to do this with everybody. I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. Much love to everybody out there. Don't forget to like and share. Talk to you soon. Keep it green, people.